The Sorites Paradox. The Sorites Paradox, also known as the Paradox of the Heap, comes from the Greek word soros, meaning heap. It was first proposed by the ancient Greek philosopher Eubulides, who also created other classic paradoxes, like the liar paradox. This statement is false. But the beauty of the Sorites Paradox is its deceptive simplicity. Here's the problem laid out. Premise 1. A single grain of sand does not make a heap. Premise 2. Adding one more grain to something that isn't a heap does not suddenly make it a heap. Conclusion. No matter how many grains you add, you'll never get a heap. And yet, we clearly recognize heaps of sand all around us. This paradox isn't just about sand. It applies to any situation where small changes accumulate over time, leading to a major transformation that somehow defies clear categorization. When does a child become an adult? One birthday doesn't magically change them. When does a bald man become bald? Losing one hair doesn't make him bald, but at some point, the transition happens. When does night become day? There isn't a precise second where darkness turns to light, but we still recognize morning when we see it. It's a paradox of gradual change, and it challenges the way we define things with unclear boundaries. How? This paradox affects everyday thinking. The Sorites Paradox is more than just an interesting brain teaser. It actually influences how we think about the world. In language, law, medicine, and even politics, this paradox shows up in ways we don't always notice. In language, words like tall, rich, happy, or intelligent all suffer from vagueness. How much height makes someone tall? How much money makes someone rich? There's no clear answer. In law, at what point does something count as theft? If you take 1 cent from a company's profits, it's nothing. What about $1, 1,000, 1,000,000? Laws often struggle with defining where the line is. In medicine, when does a person become sick enough to need treatment? There isn't always a clear moment. It's a continuum rather than a hard line. In society, when does a culture shift from one era to another? Historians put labels like the Renaissance or the Information Age, but change happens so gradually that no one living through it can pinpoint the exact moment. The Sorites Paradox teaches us something uncomfortable. Our definitions are fuzzy, but we rely on them anyway. The real-world consequences of vagueness. While it might seem like a fun thought experiment, the Sorites Paradox has real-world consequences. Take ethics and morality. Imagine a rule that says, hurting someone is wrong. But what about a tiny act of harm? What if it's justified? What if it's part of a bigger system? Bit by bit, small actions add up, and before you know it, a society can justify things it once condemned. History has shown how small, seemingly insignificant changes can lead to dramatic shifts in ethical standards. Or consider artificial intelligence and automation. If a machine replaces one human job, it's no big deal. But if every industry replaces a tiny fraction of its workers over time, society suddenly finds itself in a new era with no clear moment. When the shift actually happened. The paradox forces us to ask, are we comfortable with blurry lines or do we need hard definitions? Possible solutions to the paradox. Philosophers have debated this paradox for centuries, but no single solution fully resolves it. However, a few approaches help us understand it better. Fuzzy logic. Instead of saying something is strictly a heap or not a heap, we could use a scale of heapness, where something is gradually more of a heap as grains are added. This avoids an abrupt switch. Epistemicism. Some philosophers argue that there actually is a precise point where something becomes a heap. We just don't know where it is. In this view, the problem isn't with reality, but with our knowledge of it. Rejecting the premise. Some thinkers reject the second premise altogether. They argue that, at some point, adding just 1 grain of sand actually does create a heap, even if we can't easily pinpoint when. Each approach has its challenges, but they all highlight something crucial. The way we define things is just as important as the things themselves. A paradox that mirrors. Sleep itself. As you listen to this, your mind is gently drifting. Thought by thought, moment by moment, your focus softens. Just like the grains of sand, sleep doesn't happen all at once. You don't suddenly switch from being fully awake to completely asleep. It's a gradual transition. One moment, you're fully present, and the next, your mind begins to slip into the background, and yet at some point, you'll be asleep. The Sorites Paradox teaches us something beautiful. Change is subtle, but inevitable. Whether it's a growing heap of sand, the passing of time, or the quiet pull of sleep, transformation happens in tiny steps, until one day you realize you're already there. So let your thoughts settle, grain by grain, until the heap of sleep carries you away. The Ship of Theseus. Imagine that you are aboard this ship at the beginning of its voyage. At first, you notice the familiar creaks of wooden planks and the scent of salt in the air, a ship built with care, embodying its history. As time passes, the wear and tear of travel necessitate repairs. A plank becomes too weathered, so it is replaced. Then another and another. Soon, the ship begins to resemble its former self less and less. Yet, as you sit quietly in the gentle sway of the boat, you begin to wonder what makes this vessel the ship that once set sail. In its early days, the ship was a single, cohesive unit with an identity. However, when every element is replaced, does the identity persist? Some say that the soul of the ship lies in its form or design. The very idea of the vessel remains unchanged despite the constant flux of its material parts. Others argue that when no original component remains, the ship becomes something entirely new, the nature of identity. This paradox taps into a profound aspect of life, the nature of identity itself. Think about your own existence. Over time, your body cells regenerate, your thoughts evolve, and your experiences reshape your personality. Yet, you feel as though you remain the same person. Continuity exists amid change. The Ship of Theseus mirrors this internal journey. Continuity over composition. Just as you do not feel that you vanish when your cells are replaced, many philosophers argue that the identity of the ship persists because it maintains a continuous narrative, a history, and a purpose that links the old with the new. Material versus essence. Alternatively, some suggest that the ship's identity is intrinsically tied to its physical components. In this view, when every part has been replaced, the original identity is lost, and what remains is merely a copy of what once was. This perspective forces us to consider whether the physical substance or the continuity of form is more significant. The soothing debate between these ideas mirrors the way we experience ourselves, constantly evolving, yet holding on to a sense of self. It's as if every small change, every new plank, contributes to a larger tapestry that tells the story of existence. Reflections on change. The Ship of Theseus isn't just an abstract puzzle. It reflects a universal truth about change. In nature, nothing stays the same. Seasons shift, rivers carve new paths, and mountains erode over time. Change is an inevitable part of life. And yet, there is beauty in continuity, the quiet assurance that even as everything transforms, some essential core endures. Imagine lying in bed, your thoughts meandering like gentle waves. The Ship of Theseus invites you to ponder how change occurs gradually, almost imperceptibly. Like the ship, you may notice only small alterations in your daily routine, yet over years, these tiny shifts add up to significant transformation. And in this gentle transformation lies a kind of reassurance. The paradox teaches us that, even as we change, our journey remains continuous. The beauty of gradual transformation. Each replaced plank is like a moment in time, seemingly insignificant on its own, but together forming the narrative of a long, meaningful voyage. The process of transformation is gradual, allowing you to appreciate each stage rather than being overwhelmed by the final outcome. A metaphor for life's passage. The ship, much like life, is in a constant state of becoming. It encourages a reflective state of mind where one accepts that change is inevitable, and that identity, whether of a ship or a self, is not static but a flowing continuum. Contemplating the paradox as you listen, let the gentle rhythm of the words mirror the cadence of the ship's journey. Picture yourself aboard, surrounded by the whisper of the wind and the soft lapping of water against the hull. In this quiet space, allow the paradox to invite introspection. Consider the question: is identity a matter of physical substance or of the enduring idea behind it? Perhaps it is the design, the story, or the purpose that sustains the ship's identity, much as our memories and experiences sustain who we are. Alternatively, maybe identity is inherently tied to the physical. A loss of every original component means a loss of the original self. There are no easy answers, and that is precisely what makes the paradox so captivating. It's a gentle reminder that some questions are meant to be savored slowly, like a soft lullaby guiding you toward rest. A philosophical lullaby. The paradox becomes a soothing meditation on impermanence and continuity. As the ship's parts are replaced one by one, you may find comfort in the idea that change does not necessarily mean loss. Instead, it can be viewed as a natural, almost poetic evolution, a series of small, deliberate steps that lead you from one state of being to another. Embracing uncertainty. In our lives, uncertainty is a constant companion. The Ship of Theseus teaches us to embrace this uncertainty. Even if we cannot pinpoint the exact moment when the identity shifts, we can appreciate the journey. There is solace in knowing that, despite the inevitable changes, the essence remains, a continuous thread that ties past to present. The gentle call of reflection now, as your mind wanders like a quiet river at dusk, let this paradox lull you into a state of calm contemplation. Allow the imagery of a ship, gradually transformed, yet always familiar, to serve as a metaphor for your own experiences. Every moment, every thought, and every change is a part of a grand ongoing voyage. As you relax deeper into the present, you may find that the puzzle of identity becomes less of a challenge and more of a gentle reminder. Nothing stays the same, and that is perfectly all right. The ship, with all its replaced parts, continues its journey, just as you continue to grow and evolve. In the soft twilight between wakefulness and sleep, embrace the idea that life is a series of moments strung together, each one delicate, yet essential. And much like the ship, you are both the journey and the vessel, a continuous story written in small, meaningful steps. Let the rhythm of these thoughts guide you, grain by grain, until you find yourself adrift in a sea of tranquil dreams. Here in the quiet of the night, the ship of Theseus sails on, ever changing, yet ever the same. Zeno's Paradoxes. Zeno of Elea, a philosopher from ancient Greece, presented paradoxes that have puzzled minds for millennia. His work was designed to challenge the notion that motion, something we experience every day, can be neatly explained by our usual ways of thinking. Zeno's puzzles, like whispers from a long-forgotten past, beckon us to consider the limits of logic and the endless nature of time and space. Two of his most famous paradoxes are Achilles and the tortoise and the dichotomy paradox. Each of these presents a scenario where our intuitive understanding of motion seems to break down, leaving us with a series of questions that gently nudge us toward deeper reflection. Achilles and the tortoise. The race of perpetual pursuit. Imagine a race where the swift Achilles competes against a slow, steady tortoise. In this paradox, Achilles gives the tortoise a head start, confident in his speed. Yet, as the race unfolds, a curious situation emerges. By the time Achilles reaches the point where the tortoise began, the tortoise has moved a little further. When Achilles reaches that new point, the tortoise has again advanced. And so on, ad infinitum. At first, this may seem absurd. Surely the swift Achilles should overtake the tortoise at some point. But Zeno's argument gently unfolds. If you divide the race into an infinite number of intervals, then no matter how fast Achilles runs, he must complete infinitely many steps to catch up. In this endless chase, motion appears to stall, frozen, in a loop of endless pursuit. Allow your mind to wander as you picture this race in slow motion. See Achilles sprinting with unwavering determination, yet always finding the tortoise just a bit ahead. It's as if time itself has been stretched into a canvas of infinite detail, where every moment is both distinct and immeasurably small. This thought invites us to reflect on the nature of progress. Sometimes, even when the destination seems just around the corner, the journey itself can feel eternal. The dichotomy paradox. The infinite steps of a journey now. Consider the dichotomy. Paradox. Suppose you wish to cross a room. Intuitively, you know that you simply walk from one side to the other. However, if you break your journey into smaller segments, a curious picture emerges. Before you can reach the far wall, you must first cover half the distance. Then, you must cover half of the remaining distance and half of what is left after. That, continuing indefinitely. In this scenario, every step you take seems to split the remaining distance into smaller and smaller parts. The paradox arises because, by this reasoning, there is always some distance left to travel, an infinite series of steps that, taken together, seem to prevent you from ever arriving at your destination. As you imagine each tiny step, let your mind settle into a rhythm, a gentle meditative counting that mirrors the quiet ticks of a clock in a dimly lit room. Each fraction of a journey is like a soft whisper, suggesting that even though the steps are countless, the total distance can still be finite. Modern mathematics tells us that an infinite series of diminishing steps can indeed add up to a complete journey. Yet, in the gentle realm of thought, the idea that an endless process can culminate in a definite endpoint remains both mysterious and comforting. The infinite and the finite. A dance of logic and wonder. Both paradoxes seem to place us in a realm where the infinite and the finite intermingle, a delicate dance that challenges our understanding of continuity. Zeno's puzzles do not imply that motion is an illusion, but rather that our way of dividing time and space into parts leads us into surprising territory. Reflect for a moment on your own experiences. How many times have you noticed that life is made up of small, almost imperceptible moments? Each moment passes like a grain of sand, seemingly insignificant on its own. Yet, together, they form the entirety of your day, your memories, and your journey through life. In this way, Zeno's paradoxes mirror our own existence, a series of fleeting moments that, despite their infinite nature, build a complete, coherent whole. The modern resolution. Calculus and the beauty of limits. While Zeno's paradoxes stir the imagination, modern mathematics, specifically calculus, provides a framework to reconcile these ideas. The concept of limits allows us to understand how an infinite number of steps can sum to a finite value. This insight doesn't diminish the wonder of Zeno's thought experiments. Instead, it deepens our appreciation for the intricate balance between infinity and finitude. Imagine each tiny step in the dichotomy paradox as a note in a soothing lullaby. Individually, each note is soft and subtle, yet together they create a harmonious melody. The infinite series of steps in Zeno's argument, when viewed through the lens of limits, converge to form a complete journey. It's a reminder that, even in the realm of the infinite, there is structure, beauty, and ultimately closure. Embracing the mystery as you drift off, as you continue to listen, let these thoughts wash over you like gentle waves on a tranquil shore. Zeno's paradoxes invite you to pause and ponder the nature of motion and time. They remind you that, much like the journey towards sleep, progress can be a series of small, nearly imperceptible steps that together lead to a state of quiet resolution. Imagine yourself lying in a soft, comfortable space. Each breath you take is like a tiny step, calm, steady, and meaningful. As your eyes grow heavy, you may find that the paradox of infinite steps becomes a metaphor for your own gradual descent into sleep. There is no abrupt transition. Rather, there is a gentle, ongoing process that carries you from wakefulness into a peaceful slumber. Consider the race of Achilles and the tortoise, and the never-ending journey of the dichotomy paradox as gentle reminders of life's unfolding nature. They speak of progress that is both slow and steady, a mosaic of moments that, although individually small, collectively create the rich tapestry of your experience. Allow your mind to float freely with these ideas, letting go of the need to resolve every question immediately. There is beauty in the mystery, an invitation to appreciate the subtle interplay of thought and existence. In this quiet reflection, every step you take is a step closer to the gentle embrace of sleep, where the infinite becomes part of the serene present. A gentle farewell to awake. Thought as our exploration of Zeno's paradoxes draws to a close. Take a moment to let these ideas settle in the background of your mind. The paradoxes, with their infinite regress and delicate balance of logic, are not puzzles to be solved with haste. Instead, they are meditative journeys, quiet invitations to see the world as a series of gentle, interconnected moments. Drift, then, into the softness of the night, knowing that even if the steps of your journey seem endless, they lead you toward the comforting certainty of rest. With each thought that fades into the background, allow the mystery of Zeno's insights to accompany you, whispering softly of the beauty inherent in every infinite moment. May the endless dance of logic and time lull you into a state of deep, peaceful sleep where every infinitesimal step is a note in the lullaby of your dreams. The Omnipotence Paradox. Picture yourself sitting in a comfortable, dimly lit room. Outside, the night whispers secrets through the rustling leaves, and inside, a soft, inquisitive question beckons. What does it mean to be all-powerful? The Omnipotence Paradox asks us to imagine an entity with no limitations whatsoever. But what happens when even the idea of limitless power confronts a contradiction? The paradox is posed in simple terms. If an all-powerful being exists, can it create a rock so heavy that even it cannot lift it? At first glance, the question seems almost playful, a mental exercise meant to stretch the boundaries of our understanding. Yet, as with many deep questions, it carries a profound implication. The very concept of absolute power may contain a built-in contradiction. Unpacking absolute power to understand the paradox, let us first consider what it means to be omnipotent. In everyday language, omnipotence suggests infinite power, the ability to do anything without restriction. But when we scrutinize this idea, subtle complications emerge. Imagine for a moment that there exists an entity with no limits, a force that can create, transform, and control every aspect of reality. This being, by definition, should be capable of performing any action. However, the Omnipotence Paradox challenges this notion by presenting a scenario where the definition of limitless power comes into conflict with itself. Scenario 1. If the entity can create a rock so heavy that it cannot lift it, then there is something it cannot do: lift the rock. Scenario 2. If it cannot create such a rock, then there is a limitation in its creative power. Thus, regardless of the answer, we are led to a contradiction. Either there is something the being cannot do, or the being's power is redefined by the absence of such a rock. In both cases, the idea of being truly all-powerful becomes elusive. The paradox is a mirror for life's contradictions. As you settle into the gentle rhythm of your thoughts, consider how this paradox mirrors the contradictions we encounter in everyday life. Much like the Omnipotence Paradox, many aspects of our existence seem to defy simple, black-and-white explanations. Think of the moments when you feel both capable and uncertain, a quiet internal tug-of-war between desire and doubt. Just as the paradox questions whether infinite power can coexist with inherent limitations, our own lives are often a blend of boundless potential and natural constraints. The balance of strength and vulnerability. In our daily lives, we experience moments of incredible strength, yet also times of fragility. Perhaps this balance is not a weakness, but a testament to the complexity of existence, a reminder that absolute power, if it were to exist, might carry with it contradictions that are both perplexing and enlightening. Embracing the mystery. The Omnipotence Paradox gently invites us to embrace uncertainty. It does not demand a definitive answer but encourages a quiet exploration of the boundaries of possibility. As you listen, allow the ambiguity of this thought to wash over you, much like the ebb and flow of ocean tides, bringing with it a sense of wonder at the mysteries of life, a meditation on limits and freedom. Consider the idea that limits may not always be a hindrance, but rather a framework within which creativity and growth flourish. The paradox challenges us to ask, is absolute freedom desirable, or do our limitations give shape and meaning to our existence? In the natural world, boundaries exist everywhere. From the horizon that frames the sky to the gentle curves of a river, these limits define and refine beauty. In art, in nature, and in our relationships, the interplay between what is possible and what is not creates a canvas rich with nuance. The power of constraints. Imagine an artist with a blank canvas. The space may seem limitless, yet it is the constraints of the canvas that inspire creativity. Similarly, the seeming contradiction of omnipotence may reflect the truth that even the most powerful forces are part of a larger, balanced system, a system where limitations and possibilities coexist. A soothing perspective on control. As you sink deeper into calm reflection, you might find comfort in the idea that not everything in life is about absolute control. There is a gentle liberation in accepting that some mysteries are meant to remain unresolved. The paradox, in its quiet way, whispers that perhaps true power lies in the acceptance of the unknown and the unresolvable, exploring the paradox through gentle questions. In the quiet stillness of your mind, let these questions guide your thoughts. What does it truly mean to be all-powerful? Is it the absence of limits, or is it the presence of a purpose that transcends mere ability? Can contradictions coexist within something that is meant to be limitless? Could the very nature of infinite power be to challenge our conventional definitions of possibility? How do our own experiences of strength and vulnerability reflect this paradox? In what ways do our limitations shape our identities and our capacities for growth? Each question, like a soft ripple in a still pond, invites you to explore your inner landscape. There is no rush to find answers. Only a gentle invitation to ponder, to let your thoughts wander, and to appreciate the beauty of complexity. Finding rest in the paradoxes. The night deepens and the world grows quieter. Allow the Omnipotence Paradox to become a lullaby for your mind. In its contradictions, find a metaphor for the natural ebb and flow of life, where not everything needs to be resolved, and where uncertainty is not a cause for alarm, but a space for wonder. Imagine the paradox as a gentle tide that carries away the sharp edges of your day, softening your thoughts until they become a smooth, continuous current. In this current, the idea of absolute power dissolves into a comforting recognition that some mysteries are meant to remain beautifully unresolved. Let the questions of omnipotence fade into the background, replaced by a deep sense of peace. The paradox, with all its complexities, serves as a reminder that life is not about having all the answers. It is about the journey, the slow, deliberate steps toward understanding that occur over time, much like the gradual transition from wakefulness to sleep. A final whisper. Before slumber in, these final moments of reflection, let your mind rest on the quiet truth that the Omnipotence Paradox embodies. Even in a world where power seems absolute, there is room for mystery and gentle uncertainty. As you allow the paradox to settle like soft stardust around you, feel your thoughts become lighter, your concerns more distant. Embrace the notion that true strength might lie not in the absence of limits, but in the harmonious balance between possibility and restriction. In that balance, find solace and let it guide you into a realm of deep, restorative sleep. May the gentle wonder of these reflections cradle you through the night, where every unanswerable question becomes a soft echo in the vast expanse of your dreams. Drift off, knowing that even the most perplexing paradoxes hold a quiet beauty, a beauty that, like sleep, invites you to surrender to the mystery and find rest in the infinite tapestry of the night. The unexpected hanging. Paradox. Visualize a solitary prisoner sitting in a modest cell, with time slowly marking its passage on a worn-out clock. One day, a stern yet calm official announces, "You will be hanged one day next week, and the day of your hanging will come as a complete surprise." As you listen, you feel the gentle pull of curiosity mixed with a soft unease. This statement, seemingly simple, sets the stage for a cascade of logical reasoning and counterintuitive conclusions. At first glance, the prisoner's mind might race through the days of the week, attempting to pinpoint when the unexpected moment might occur. But as the reasoning unfolds, a curious contradiction emerges, one that transforms certainty into uncertainty. Unraveling the paradox. Step by step, let's walk through the prisoner's thought process as they try to outwit their fate. The prisoner begins by reasoning about the last possible day, say Friday. If the hanging has not occurred by Thursday evening, then Friday becomes the only option left, and the prisoner would know in advance, stripping the day of its unexpected nature. Therefore, Friday cannot be the day. Emboldened by this deduction, the prisoner then considers Thursday. If Friday is ruled out, and if the prisoner remains unhanged by Wednesday night, Thursday would be the only remaining day. Once again, the prisoner would expect the event, and it would no longer be a surprise. By this logic, Thursday too must be ruled out. This reasoning continues backward through the days, until the prisoner concludes that no day can satisfy the condition of surprise. The very act of logical elimination appears to lead to a conclusion, where the hanging seems impossible, an outcome that seems to guarantee that the prisoner will never be hanged at all. Yet, if the prisoner truly believes in this reasoning, the eventual occurrence of the execution will indeed be unexpected, reintroducing the element of surprise. A meditation on expectation and certainty. As you let these thoughts gently settle, consider the nature of expectation itself. Our minds naturally seek to predict and plan, to find order in the passage of time. In the unexpected hanging paradox, the prisoner's reasoning creates a maze where each step seems to lead to a dead end. The paradox gently illustrates how our attempts to impose certainty on an uncertain future can result in an outcome that defies our logical expectations. Imagine yourself drifting along a calm river. The water moves steadily, carrying leaves and petals along a meandering path. At times you might try to predict the precise moment a leaf will turn or a petal will drift by, yet the exact moment remains elusive. In much the same way, the prisoner's mind, busy calculating and eliminating possibilities, finds that the nature of surprise is not something that can be neatly boxed into a predictable timeline. This thought experiment encourages a gentle acceptance of uncertainty. It suggests that the beauty of life may lie in its unpredictability, in those moments when events occur not because they are logically deduced, but because they emerge naturally, unexpected and serene, like a sudden break in a musical lullaby. Reflections. On the nature of surprise, let's pause to reflect on what it means for an event to be a surprise. A surprise is born out of expectation, a moment when the mind is gently nudged out of its routine pattern of thought. If every moment were as predictable as a ticking clock, the wonder of life might fade into monotony. It is in the unexpected twists that we often find a spark of beauty, a moment of revelation that transforms our ordinary experiences. The unexpected hanging paradox taps into this deep truth. By attempting to logically forecast an event that is defined by its surprise, the paradox exposes a profound tension between our desire for control and the inherent unpredictability of life. It's as if the very act of trying to plan every moment strips away the magic of spontaneity. Allow this idea to permeate your thoughts as you lie in a quiet, darkened room. Think of the last time something unexpected brought a gentle smile or a soft shiver of awe. That moment, fleeting yet memorable, is a reminder that life's richness often comes from the unforeseen. The paradox thus becomes not just a logical puzzle, but a meditation on the importance of embracing uncertainty and letting go of the need to predict every outcome. Modern perspectives and the paradox's legacy in our modern world. Thinkers have long debated the nuances of the unexpected hanging paradox. Some propose that the flaw lies in the prisoner's reasoning, a self-referential loop that confounds expectation by overthinking the process. Others suggest that the paradox reveals a fundamental aspect of human consciousness, our tendency to believe that if something is predictable, it loses its impact. Modern theories of probability and decision-making offer insights into how we manage uncertainty. They suggest that while we can calculate risks and forecast outcomes, the element of surprise remains a wild card, a variable that defies full comprehension. Just as in the paradox, the interplay between prediction and unpredictability mirrors the way our minds operate, balancing between what is known and what is yet to be discovered. Think of the paradox as a gentle reminder that even the most meticulously planned life can be punctuated by unexpected moments, each one a chance to start anew, to experience the wonder of life from a fresh perspective. It's a call to live with curiosity and openness, welcoming the unexpected as an integral part of our journey. Embracing the unpredictable path to rest. As the evening deepens and your mind drifts into a state of calm reflection, let the unexpected hanging paradox guide you toward a peaceful acceptance of life's uncertainties. Just as the prisoner's reasoning leads to a seemingly paradoxical conclusion, so too does life often defy our careful calculations. Imagine the unfolding of a gentle story, each chapter unpredictable, yet woven together by a thread of continuity. In this narrative, the precise moment of the unexpected is not a source of anxiety, but a soft invitation to experience the beauty of unplanned moments. The paradox gently whispers that even in a world of uncertainties, there is a serene, underlying rhythm, a rhythm that guides us toward rest and renewal. Allow yourself to be carried by this gentle current of thought, much like a leaf floating on a calm stream. Let the realization settle that the charm of life often lies in the surprises that catch us unawares. In that space of unknowing, there is no need for constant vigilance or the burden of prediction, only the quiet embrace of the present moment. In the stillness of the night, the paradox becomes a metaphor for the journey towards sleep. Just as the prisoner's fate remains shrouded in mystery until the very last moment, so too does the transition from wakefulness to sleep occur in a gentle, almost imperceptible manner. It is a gradual descent into a realm where logic gives way to dreams and where the unexpected becomes the very essence of rest. A gentle invitation to surrender. As you close your eyes and let the day's thoughts slip away, consider the unexpected hanging paradox as a quiet invitation to surrender to the flow of life. Embrace the notion that not everything can be anticipated, and that sometimes the most profound moments arise from the space between expectation and reality. Feel the soft weight of these reflections as they mingle with the gentle rhythm of your breath. There is beauty in the mystery, comfort in the unknown. Just as the paradox leaves us with more questions than answers, it also leaves room for wonder, a space where the mind can rest, unburdened by the need for certainty. Let these thoughts be a lullaby, a soothing reminder that life's surprises are not disruptions, but essential notes in the symphony of existence. In the quiet darkness where each heartbeat echoes softly, allow the unexpected to guide you into a deep, restorative sleep. Embrace the gentle uncertainty, and let it cradle you as you drift off into the serene realm of dreams. The Bootstrap Paradox. Close your eyes and envision an ancient clock in a silent, darkened room. The hands of the clock move in a smooth, unhurried rhythm, marking the passage of time in a familiar cadence. Now, imagine that this clock holds a secret, one so profound that it challenges the very idea of beginnings and endings. The Bootstrap Paradox is much like that secret, an enigma where an item or a piece of information is passed through time only to return to its point of origin. With no clear beginning, picture a scenario where a traveler from the future journeys back in time, armed with a book of knowledge. This traveler leaves the book in a library, where, centuries later, the book is discovered and eventually becomes the very source of its own creation. The book, full of insights and wisdom, seems to have always existed, even though it was, in fact, delivered from a future that no longer exists in the conventional sense. It has no identifiable moment of creation. Its existence is self-sustaining, a loop with no discernible start. Exploring the paradox. Cause without origin. At the heart of the Bootstrap Paradox lies a profound question. How can something be caused if it has no origin? This puzzle gently unsettles our intuitive sense of time. We are accustomed to thinking that every effect has a clear cause, a starting point that leads to an end. Yet in the case of the Bootstrap Paradox, the object or information seems to be caught in an endless loop, where cause and effect become indistinguishable from one another. Imagine you're floating on a calm lake, with the water reflecting the infinite sky above. Each ripple on the water's surface represents a moment in time, an effect that flows from a previous cause. Now imagine that one ripple, instead of fading away, circles back to create itself. It's as if the ripple had no beginning at all. This gentle image captures the essence of the paradox. The idea that something can exist and be passed on through time without a clear origin, simply because its existence is intertwined with the fabric of time itself. A meditation on causality and continuity. As you settle into this thought, allow the Bootstrap Paradox to invite you into a meditative state of wonder. Reflect on your own life, each moment a consequence of previous ones, yet many times we find ourselves caught in cycles. Perhaps a memory, a habit, or even a belief seems to have no starting point, having been handed down or reinforced without clear cause. In this way, the paradox mirrors the experience of continuity in our own lives. Consider the soothing repetition of your daily routine, the quiet ritual of morning coffee, the gentle hum of the commute, and the soft routine that signals the approach of bedtime. Each moment flows into the next, creating a seamless loop of experience. While the Bootstrap Paradox deals with the realm of time travel and cosmic mysteries, its core message is remarkably familiar. Our existence, too, is a continuous loop where the past and the future seem to meet in the present. Cycles in nature. Look to nature, a cycle of seasons, the endless orbit of the earth, or the rhythm of the tides. These cycles are not born at a single point. They simply are, each one a continuation of what came before. In this natural repetition, we find a comforting reminder that not everything must have a clear beginning to be meaningful. The flow of time. Much like a river that has always flowed, the Bootstrap Paradox invites us to appreciate the beauty of continuity. Although our minds crave the comfort of origins and clear causal chains, sometimes the most profound truths lie in the timeless flow of existence itself. Philosophical reflections and modern insights. Philosophers and scientists have long grappled with the mysteries posed by time travel and the Bootstrap Paradox. Some argue that if such a paradox were possible, it would challenge our understanding of reality. Yet modern theories in physics, particularly those exploring the nature of time, suggest that the universe might not adhere to the neat, linear sequence we imagine. Imagine the cosmos as a vast, intricate tapestry, each thread representing an event or a moment in time. In this tapestry, Threads are interwoven so seamlessly that the notion of a clear beginning becomes elusive. The Bootstrap Paradox fits neatly into this vision. An object or a piece of information is not isolated in time, but is instead an integral part of a continuous, self-sustaining loop. The relativity of time. According to modern physics, time is not absolute but relative. The experience of time can vary depending on one's perspective. For a traveler moving at great speed or navigating the curved space around massive objects, the flow of time may differ from the rest of the universe. In such contexts, a paradox like the Bootstrap Paradox might not be so paradoxical after all. It could be a natural consequence of the flexible, intertwined nature of time. A philosophical lullaby. As you contemplate these ideas, let them serve as a gentle lullaby for your mind. The Bootstrap Paradox, while intellectually challenging, also offers a soft reminder that some mysteries are meant to be experienced rather than solved. It encourages us to embrace the uncertainty and to find comfort in the continuity of existence, even if that continuity defies conventional logic. Embracing the mystery as you drift to sleep in the quiet hours of the night, when your thoughts are free to wander and merge with dreams, the Bootstrap Paradox becomes a metaphor for the beauty of the unknown. It whispers that not every mystery in life must be unraveled. Some are meant to simply be, like the gentle murmur of a distant stream or the soft rustling of leaves in the wind. Imagine yourself lying in a peaceful space where the boundaries of time and memory gently blur. As you let go of the need to pinpoint origins or define beginnings, you begin to appreciate the endless cycle of existence. A cycle that, much like your own journey towards sleep, flows effortlessly without a definitive start or finish. A gentle surrender. Allow your mind to relax as you consider that some truths, like the Bootstrap Paradox, reside in the realm of perpetual mystery. In the act of surrendering to the unknown, you might find a deep sense of peace, a release from the relentless quest for absolute answers. The comfort of continuity. Let the idea of a self-sustaining loop become a comforting image, a celestial cycle where each moment gives birth to the next in a harmonious dance. Much like the ebb and flow of your own breath, this cycle persists, soothing your mind as it prepares to embrace the restorative quiet of sleep. A final whisper of timeless wonder as our exploration of the Bootstrap Paradox draws to a gentle close. Take a moment to let the profound mystery settle in your heart. The paradox reminds us that the universe is a wondrous, interconnected web of moments, each one both a beginning and an end, woven together in a tapestry that defies simple explanation. Feel the soft cadence of time where every second is both new and timeless. In this serene space, you are invited to let go of the urge to define, and instead to experience the fluid, ever-changing beauty of existence. Allow the paradox to be a beacon of gentle mystery, guiding you into a state of deep, peaceful rest. Say, the infinite loop of time and the enigmatic nature of causality cradle you tonight as you drift into a realm where logic and dreams intertwine. Embrace the beauty of the unknown and let it lull you into a deep, restorative sleep where every moment is part of a grand, timeless symphony. The Lyre Paradox. Picture yourself in a softly lit room, the gentle hum of nighttime surrounding you. As you relax, consider the sentence, "This statement is false." At first glance, it appears straightforward, a declaration about itself. But if you pause to reflect, a curious problem emerges. If the statement is true, then, as it asserts, it must be false. Conversely, if it is false, that very falsity implies it is true. It is a delicate dance between truth and falsehood, where the boundaries blur and the usual rules of language seem to unravel. This self-referential puzzle invites us into a deeper conversation about what it means for something to be true. In our everyday lives, we rely on language as a reliable guide, words that denote facts, ideas that help us navigate the world. Yet here, in this paradox, language twists into a loop that defies the clear-cut distinctions we have come to trust. The subtle complexity of truth. Let's take a moment to wander through the layers of this paradox. The sentence, "This statement is false," is unique because it refers back to itself. Unlike other sentences that might state a fact about the world, this one points inward, examining its own truthfulness. It is like looking into a mirror that reflects not only your image, but also the very nature of reflection. As you lie back and let your mind drift, consider how this simple phrase challenges our understanding of truth. We usually think of statements as either true or false, a binary that seems unshakable. However, the liar paradox gently disrupts this binary mode of thinking. It suggests that perhaps truth isn't always a neat two-sided coin. Sometimes it might be something more fluid, a concept that evades easy categorization. Imagine your own thoughts as you navigate the quiet of the night. Often, you may find that your beliefs and impressions are not rigid, but change with time and perspective. The liar paradox echoes this experience by showing us that even the most basic claims can be subject to interpretation and contradiction. Language is a living, breathing entity. In the world of the liar paradox, language is not a static tool, but a living entity. It evolves, adapts, and sometimes even deceives. The paradox forces us to consider that words, though essential to communication, can also lead us into perplexing loops of meaning. Reflect on your own language. When you speak or write, you trust that your words will convey clear meaning. Yet, the paradox serves as a quiet reminder that even our most carefully chosen phrases can hide layers of ambiguity. Just as the soft glow of a candle can cast shadows that dance on the walls, the words we use can reveal hidden depths when viewed from a different angle. This reflection on language becomes particularly soothing when you realize that uncertainty is not something to fear but a natural part of the human experience. In our everyday lives, we navigate a world full of nuance, where few things are entirely black or white. The liar paradox, with its playful yet profound challenge, invites you to embrace that uncertainty, allowing your mind to wander freely, unburdened by the need for absolute clarity. A meditative exploration of contradiction. As you continue to drift, allow yourself to explore the meditative aspects of this paradox. Think of it as a gentle puzzle that doesn't demand a solution, but rather encourages a state of quiet contemplation. In this space, the paradox is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be experienced, a soft riddle that lulls your thoughts into a state of reflective calm. Consider how the interplay between truth and falsehood might mirror the ebb and flow of your own thoughts. There are moments when you hold beliefs that feel certain, and other times when uncertainty creeps in, softly questioning what you once believed to be true. This oscillation, much like the liar paradox, is part of the gentle rhythm of your inner life. Allow the paradox to guide your meditation. With each breath, think of the statement, "This statement is false," as a symbol of life's inherent contradictions. As you exhale, let go of the pressure to resolve the puzzle, and instead, embrace the beauty of its ambiguity. In this way, the paradox becomes a tool for relaxation, a reminder that not every question needs an answer for you to find peace. Implications beyond logic. The liar paradox has implications that stretch far beyond the realm of logical puzzles. It touches on the core of how we understand reality and the ways in which we construct our world through language and thought. In a sense, the paradox is a quiet invitation to question the assumptions that underpin your daily life. Imagine the words you use to describe your experiences. Whether you're recounting a cherished memory or planning for the future, your language shapes the very fabric of your reality. The paradox gently challenges you to consider that perhaps, in the vast tapestry of life, certainty is a rare and fleeting guest. This realization can be both humbling and liberating. It allows you to see that there is a profound beauty in the unknown, that the spaces between clear answers are filled with wonder. The gentle complexity of the liar paradox mirrors the soft mystery of the night, where not everything is meant to be explained, but simply felt. drifting into rest with gentle puzzles. As your journey through the liar paradox continues, let its soft, enigmatic nature guide you toward rest. There is a comforting rhythm in the way the paradox unfolds, a slow, deliberate dance between certainty and doubt. Much like the gradual transition from wakefulness to sleep, the paradox reminds you that it's okay to linger in uncertainty for a while. Picture yourself slowly drifting into a serene state, where the boundaries of truth and falsehood merge into a gentle haze. In that space, you find that the quest for absolute clarity gives way to a more profound, intuitive understanding. The paradox, rather than troubling your mind, becomes a soothing backdrop, a gentle riddle that plays softly in the distance as you surrender to sleep. Each thought, like a soft whisper on a quiet night, blends into the next. The liar paradox is no longer an unsolvable problem, but a meditative mantra that encourages you to let go. In this state of gentle acceptance, you discover that the beauty of life often lies not in the answers we seek, but in the mysteries that linger in the quiet corners of our mind. A final whisper before sleep. As our exploration of the liar paradox nears its end, take a moment to settle into the gentle rhythm of your breathing. Let the puzzle of "this statement is false" dissolve into a soft murmur, a reminder that language, like life, is filled with layers of meaning that can both challenge and soothe. In this tranquil space, allow yourself to rest. Know that it is perfectly all right for some questions to remain unanswered, for some puzzles to linger without resolution. Embrace the gentle uncertainty of the paradox as a quiet companion, one that accompanies you into the deep, restorative realm of sleep. May the soft echoes of this paradox cradle you tonight, guiding you into a peaceful slumber where every thought, every whisper of doubt, transforms into a lullaby of gentle mystery. Drift off, knowing that in the vast landscape of your mind, even the most perplexing puzzles become tender, comforting echoes in the symphony of dreams. The lottery paradox. Consider for a moment the simple act of buying a single lottery ticket. Statistically, the odds of that ticket being the one that changes your life are incredibly low, almost negligible. It is natural, then, to think that this particular ticket is unlikely to win. If you repeat this thought for every ticket in the lottery, you might be led to the conclusion that none of the tickets can win. Yet, experience and logic remind us that a lottery is designed to have a winner. Herein lies the paradox. While each individual ticket appears almost certain to lose, the collective certainty that one ticket must win creates a contradiction that beckons us to reflect on the limits of our reasoning. Imagine yourself sitting by a window on a quiet night, gazing out at a sky full of stars. Each star might seem insignificant on its own, a tiny point of light among billions, yet together they form a breathtaking panorama that fills you with wonder. In much the same way, each lottery ticket, with its infinitesimal chance of success, contributes to a grand, inevitable outcome. One of them must eventually shine as the winning ticket. The lottery paradox invites you to appreciate this interplay between the individual and the collective, the minuscule and the monumental. The paradox unfolded. Rationality meets irrationality. Let us delve a little deeper into the logic behind this paradox. For any given lottery ticket, it is reasonable to assert, this ticket will not win. After all, the probability is so low that it almost seems like a certainty. However, if you apply the same reasoning to every ticket, you would then conclude, no ticket will win. This conclusion is clearly irrational because it contradicts the very design of a lottery system, which always produces one winner. This conflict between individual rationality and collective inevitability is at the heart of the lottery paradox. It challenges us to re-examine our definitions of probability and rational belief. How can something that is individually nearly certain be collectively impossible? The paradox serves as a gentle reminder that our intuitions about chance and probability might not always align with the underlying mathematical truths. Envision a serene garden where each flower, delicate and distinct, appears unremarkable on its own. Yet when seen together, the garden bursts into a riot of color and life, a living tapestry that defies the simplicity of its individual parts. Similarly, while the likelihood of any one ticket winning might seem insignificant, the certainty that one ticket must win is a profound truth that emerges only when you consider the entire lottery as a whole. Reflections on belief, certainty, and the nature of chance. The lottery paradox gently nudges us to question the way we form beliefs based on probability. It encourages us to consider that what is rational on a micro level might lead to irrational conclusions when applied universally. This tension between the small and the vast, the individual and the collective, is a recurring theme in our understanding of the world. Take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. There have likely been instances when you dismissed a possibility because it seemed too remote to matter, only to be surprised when that very possibility manifested in unexpected ways. Life, much like the lottery, is filled with moments where the improbable becomes reality. The paradox gently suggests that perhaps our rational mind must sometimes make room for the wonder of chance, the mysterious force that keeps life ever surprising. This meditative inquiry into probability is more than an intellectual exercise. It is a way of embracing the uncertainties that color our everyday existence. The realization that even the most meticulously reasoned beliefs can lead to paradoxical outcomes invites us to approach life with a blend of logic and humility. It reminds us that the universe, in its infinite complexity, is not always bound by the neat categories our minds prefer. Embracing the paradox in a calm, restful way, as you lie back in the quiet of the night, allow the lottery paradox to become a metaphor for the interplay between certainty and possibility in your own life. Much like the paradox, your daily experiences are a blend of predictable routines and unexpected surprises. Each moment, like a single lottery ticket, may seem insignificant on its own, yet collectively, they shape the extraordinary tapestry of your existence. Imagine the paradox as a gentle wave on a still lake, a reminder that while each ripple might appear small and inconsequential, the entire body of water moves with purpose and grace. The delicate balance between the unlikely and the inevitable mirrors the way life unfolds, with moments of calm predictability interwoven with bursts of delightful unpredictability. Let this realization soothe your mind. In the quiet spaces between thoughts, find comfort in the idea that life is not always meant to be entirely understood. The beauty of existence often lies in its contradictions, the rational and the irrational dancing together in a harmonious embrace. The lottery paradox is not a puzzle to be solved, but a gentle invitation to appreciate the mystery of chance, the magic of possibility, and the wonder that arises when the unlikely becomes reality. A final meditation on possibility and belief. As your mind continues its journey toward a state of peaceful rest, let these reflections on the lottery paradox settle softly within you. Consider that every belief, every decision, and every moment of doubt contributes to a larger narrative, a story that is rich with both certainty and surprise. The paradox teaches us that while logic can guide our understanding, it is the interplay with chance that brings depth and color to our experiences. In the stillness of the night, allow your thoughts to drift freely, unburdened by the need to resolve every contradiction. Embrace the quiet beauty of uncertainty, the gentle thrill of possibility that arises when you accept that not all things can be predicted. Like a soft lullaby, the paradox whispers of a world where the improbable can indeed happen, and where each tiny chance, though individually small, plays a vital role in the unfolding of the whole. May these gentle musings on the lottery paradox carry you into a deep, restorative sleep, where every fleeting thought becomes part of a grand, mysterious dream. As you surrender to the quiet of the night, know that the beauty of life often lies in the delicate balance between what we can calculate and what we must simply feel, a tender reminder that the most extraordinary moments often arise from the interplay of logic and wonder. The Sleeping Beauty Problem Picture. The following scenario. A woman, whom we shall call Beauty, is put to sleep on Sunday night, While she is in a deep slumber, a fair coin is tossed. Depending on the outcome, she is awakened under specific conditions. If the coin lands heads, Beauty is awakened only on Monday. If it lands tails, she is awakened on both Monday and Tuesday, but with her memory of the Monday awakening gently erased before Tuesday arrives. When she finally awakens, with no recollection of previous awakenings, she is asked, "What is your degree of belief that the coin landed heads?" At first, the question seems simple enough. Yet, as you allow the details to unfold in your mind, a quiet tension emerges. How should Beauty, lacking any memory of prior awakenings, rationally assign a probability to an event that occurred while she was unconscious? The Sleeping Beauty problem gently nudges us to reconsider how we think about probability, whether it is a matter of objective chance or something deeply entwined with our own subjective experience of time and memory. Delving into the paradox, let's take a slow, meditative journey into the heart of this paradox. Imagine Beauty in her slumber, unaware of the mysterious forces at play. When she awakens, her mind is clear but unburdened by the passage of time. The familiar questions of the waking world have yet to intrude. In this suspended moment, she faces the challenge of evaluating a situation where the natural rules of probability seem to blur. If the coin is fair, one might initially reason that there is a 50% chance it landed heads. However, the twist in the scenario, where an awakening on tails leads to two indistinguishable moments, forces a re-evaluation. On the day of her awakening, Beauty does not know whether she is experiencing her soul awakening, if heads occurred, or one of the two awakenings, if tails occurred. The puzzle then becomes, should Beauty assign a probability of 1-2 or 1-3 to the coin having landed heads? This gentle quandary is at the center of many debates among philosophers and mathematicians. As you reflect on this problem, consider how the interplay between memory, time, and probability creates an experience that is not easily captured by conventional logic. The subjectivity of probability. The Sleeping Beauty problem is unique because it forces us to question whether probability is an objective feature of the world, or if it is, in part, a subjective measure, dependent on the observer's state of knowledge. Beauty, upon awakening, has no memory of her earlier state. In her current state, she must assess the probability of an event that, objectively, happened with a simple coin toss. Yet, the loss of memory and the repetition of the awakening on tails blur the clarity of that probability. Imagine a quiet stream flowing gently over smooth stones. Each droplet of water represents a moment in time, a single awakening. On a sunny day, you might watch the droplets and wonder, do they merge into one continuous flow, or do they each carry an individual identity? Similarly, in the Sleeping Beauty problem, the awakenings on a tails outcome may seem like separate events, yet they are part of a continuous, unified experience from Beauty's perspective. In this quiet reflection, let yourself appreciate the subtle difference between an external, objective event and the internal, subjective experience of that event. Beauty's probability assessment becomes a mirror reflecting the complexity of our own inner worlds, where memory, perception, and time intertwine to create the tapestry of our consciousness. Exploring the implications, now imagine the broader implications of this paradox for our understanding of the world. In many aspects of life, we make decisions based on probabilities. We weigh risks and benefits, our judgments often grounded in what we remember or what we know. Yet, in the case of Beauty, the erasure of memory and the conditional nature of her awakenings remind us that our knowledge is always partial, a collection of moments that might not fully capture the underlying reality. Think of a time when you had to make a decision with incomplete information, a decision that, in retrospect, seemed to pivot on a chance occurrence. The Sleeping Beauty problem gently invites you to reconsider how you assess the likelihood of events in your own life. Is it possible that the probabilities you assign are not merely numbers, but expressions of your own subjective experience of uncertainty? This gentle meditation on probability can be both comforting and liberating. It suggests that even when our minds are clouded by uncertainty, There is beauty in the process of reflection, the quiet acknowledgement that not everything is as straightforward as it seems. The paradox, in its own subtle way, teaches us that embracing uncertainty is part of the human experience, and that the gaps in our knowledge can be spaces of creative possibility rather than sources of anxiety. A soft lullaby of logic and mystery. Allow your thoughts to drift like soft melodies in the stillness of the night. Picture beauty slowly awakening, her mind blank yet brimming with the potential for insight. With each gentle breath, consider how her situation mirrors the ebb and flow of your own inner life. There are moments when you feel certain, moments when uncertainty prevails, a dynamic balance that, much like the probabilities in this paradox, shapes the rhythm of your existence. The Sleeping Beauty problem can be seen as a quiet lullaby, inviting you to relax and let go of the need for absolute clarity. It gently reassures you that some mysteries are meant to be experienced rather than solved. A reminder that life, with all its complexities, is not a puzzle to be pieced together with rigid logic, but a tapestry woven from moments of quiet wonder and unexpected insight. Imagine lying in bed, the soft glow of the moon casting a gentle light across your room. With each exhale, let the enigma of beauty's awakenings dissolve into the background, a soft murmur in the vast silence of the night. In this space, the boundaries between certainty and doubt blur, and you find solace in the idea that some questions are not meant to be answered immediately, but savored slowly, like the fading notes of a gentle lullaby. Embracing uncertainty. As a path to rest, as you continue to reflect on the Sleeping Beauty problem, let it serve as a metaphor for the journey towards sleep. Just as beauty's awakenings are shrouded in uncertainty, your own transition from wakefulness to slumber is a gradual process, filled with moments of ambiguity that, when embraced, lead to a deeper, more peaceful rest. Consider that the essence of sleep is found in surrendering to the unknown, a willingness to let go of the need for constant certainty and to drift into a state where every thought, every fleeting moment, merges into a quiet continuum. The paradox gently invites you to trust in this process, to see the beauty in the very act of not knowing, and to allow that mystery to cradle you as you journey toward restorative sleep. Reflect on the notion that, like the probability in the Sleeping Beauty problem, the future of your dreams is not fixed by rigid logic, but is a fluid tapestry of possibilities. With each gentle breath, you may feel the soft embrace of uncertainty, the comforting reminder that it is okay for some things to remain undefined, for some probabilities to linger in a gentle state of flux. A final whisper. Before slumber as hour. Exploration of the Sleeping Beauty problem draws to a peaceful close. Take a moment to let these reflections settle in the quiet corners of your mind. Embrace the paradox as a tender invitation to acknowledge that uncertainty is a natural part of life, a space where logic and intuition, reason and wonder coexist in a harmonious balance. Let this soft, meditative journey into probability be a final whisper before you surrender to the comforting embrace of sleep. May the gentle enigma of beauty's awakenings and the delicate interplay between certainty and doubt guide you into a realm of deep, rejuvenating rest, where every thought fades like a distant echo and you are cradled by the infinite mystery of dreams. Drift off, knowing that in the vast expanse of the night, the beauty of uncertainty is a gentle companion, leading you into a peaceful, restorative slumber where all things are possible, and every moment is a quiet testament to the wonder of life. The Barber Paradox. The paradox is simple in its presentation. The barber shaves all and only those men who do not shave themselves. Now ask yourself, who shaves the barber? If the barber shaves himself, then by the very rule he follows, he should not be shaving himself. But if he does not shave himself, then he falls under the category of men who do not shave themselves, and therefore he must shave himself. This circular dilemma leaves us caught in a soft yet inescapable loop of contradiction. As you settle into this thought, let your mind wander through the quiet streets of the village. Each gentle step you take echoes the steady beat of your own thoughts. The paradox, like the soft chime of a distant bell, calls attention to the intricate dance between logic and self-reference, a dance that is as fascinating as it is soothing, when embraced in the calm of the night. Exploring the layers of self-reference. At its heart, the Barber Paradox is a study in self-reference, a phenomenon where a statement refers back to itself, creating a loop of reasoning that seems impossible to unravel. Consider the simple act of shaving, a routine performed to maintain order and appearance. Now, picture the barber, who is both the executor and the subject of his own rule. In this role, he becomes the center of a logical whirlpool. Visualize the paradox as you might a gently rippling pond. Each ripple represents an attempt at reasoning, a step that seems clear and logical on its own. Yet, when you follow the ripples back to their source, you find that they circle endlessly, blurring the line between cause and effect. The barber's situation is similar. His rule is defined by the very act it governs, leading to a reflection that, much like the image of a moonlit lake, is both beautiful and perplexing. This self-reference invites us to ponder a deeper question. How can something be defined by a rule that ultimately refers to itself? It is a gentle invitation to accept that some puzzles are meant not to be solved in a conventional way, but to be experienced, felt deeply in the quiet moments before sleep, where the mind is free to explore the mysteries of thought without the burden of needing a definitive answer. The paradox as a metaphor for life's contradictions. Reflect for a moment on the nature of contradictions in your own life. There are times when you may find yourself in situations where expectations clash with reality, where the roles you play seem to contradict one another. The Barber Paradox is not merely an abstract puzzle. It is a mirror reflecting the inherent contradictions we all encounter. Consider a day when your plans seemed perfectly ordered, only to be upended by an unexpected turn of events. Much like the barber caught between shaving himself and not shaving himself, you might feel caught between choices that seem both right and wrong at the same time. These moments, though frustrating, carry a quiet beauty. They remind us that life, with all its contradictions, is a tapestry woven from threads of uncertainty and surprise. As you lie in the soft embrace of your thoughts, allow this paradox to be a gentle reminder that not every question needs a clear answer. Some puzzles exist to enrich our experience of the world, to add depth to our understanding of how even the simplest rules can harbor hidden complexities. In accepting these contradictions, you may find a sense of peace, a realization that life's beauty often lies in its ambiguity. A meditative journey. Through logic, let us take a slow, meditative journey into the logic of the paradox. Begin by considering the two possibilities. If the barber shaves himself, by his own rule he should only shave those who do not shave themselves. Thus, if he is shaving himself, he contradicts his rule and should not be shaving himself. If the barber does not shave himself, then he qualifies as one of the men who do not shave themselves, which means, by his rule, he must shave himself. This gentle back and forth of reasoning creates a soft loop, a cycle that echoes the rhythmic patterns of nature. Like the rising and setting of the sun or the perpetual flow of a mountain stream, the paradox challenges the linear way we often think about cause and effect. It suggests that some phenomena might be cyclic, without a clear beginning or end, inviting us to appreciate the process rather than the destination. Imagine sitting by a quiet stream in the twilight. The water flows in a continuous, gentle current, its path seemingly predetermined, yet ever-changing with each ripple. In this serene setting, the Barber Paradox becomes a metaphor for the eternal cycle of action and reflection, a dance that is at once orderly and mystifying. It invites you to let go of the need for absolute resolution and instead to enjoy the beauty of the unfolding mystery. Embracing uncertainty in the quiet of the night. The appeal of the Barber Paradox lies not in its resolution, because in fact it has none, but in its power to evoke wonder. In the soft light of the evening, When the world is hushed and your mind is open to introspection, the paradox gently nudges you to consider that some questions may forever reside in the realm of possibility. They are like stars scattered across the night sky, each one a point of light that guides you, yet together they remind you of the vastness of what remains unknown. In this state of gentle uncertainty, allow yourself to drift. Picture the barber as a figure who, in his quiet routine, embodies the mystery of life itself. He is not merely a person with a simple job, he is a symbol of the complexity inherent in every rule, every routine, every decision that defines our existence. His dilemma becomes a soothing meditation on the nature of self and the ways in which our identities are intertwined with the roles we play. A final reflection. Before sleep, as you prepare to embrace the restorative quiet of sleep, let the Barber Paradox serve as a final whisper of wisdom. It reminds you that, much like the paradox, your own life may contain threads of contradiction, moments when the path forward is not clear and the rules you once relied upon seem to fold back upon themselves. Instead of seeking to resolve every contradiction, allow some of them to simply be. There is a gentle beauty in not having all the answers. Imagine the paradox dissolving into the background of your thoughts, becoming part of a soft, ambient melody that soothes your mind. With each breath, let the complexity of the paradox melt away into a state of peaceful acceptance. In that quiet space, you might find that the tension between what is expected and what is can coexist in a delicate balance, one that mirrors the natural rhythms of the night. The Barber Paradox, with its looping logic and tender mystery, offers a gentle invitation to celebrate uncertainty. It teaches you that sometimes the journey of questioning is as valuable as the quest for answers. As you close your eyes and let the soft cadence of your breath guide you, embrace the paradox as a companion, a quiet, enigmatic friend that reminds you that life's most profound insights often lie in the spaces between clear answers. May this contemplation of self-reference and logic cradle you into a deep, peaceful slumber, where every unresolvable question becomes a part of the soothing, endless tapestry of your dreams. Drift off, knowing that in the gentle paradoxes of existence there is a soft, abiding beauty, a beauty that whispers of mystery and invites you to rest in the quiet wonder of the night. The Twin Paradox. Relativity Thought Experiment. Begin by imagining the twin who ventures into space. In the quiet solitude of the cosmos, time behaves in a way that defies our everyday experiences. At speeds approaching that of light, the passage of time slows down relative to the twin who remains on Earth. This phenomenon, known as time dilation, means that while the traveling twin may experience only a few years, many more years can pass on Earth. Picture the vast, starlit expanse of space as a serene canvas, each distant star a quiet witness to the slow, rhythmic ticking of cosmic time. In this environment, the usual markers of time seem to blur and stretch, inviting us to reconsider what we understand about aging and the relentless march of minutes and hours. The traveling twin, immersed in this silent, majestic void, experiences time differently, a gentle reminder that time is not as rigid as it appears in our daily lives. Meanwhile, back on Earth, life continues in its familiar cadence. The other twin moves through days filled with the steady routines of life, a calm blend of work, rest, and reflection. The contrast between the two experiences is profound. When they finally reunite, the twin who journeyed through space is noticeably younger than the one who stayed behind, a tangible example of how the cosmos can gently reshape our understanding of time. The science behind the mystery. At its core, the twin paradox is a consequence of Einstein's theory of relativity. According to this theory, the faster an object moves, the slower time passes for it relative to a stationary observer. This isn't just an abstract idea, it has been confirmed by experiments with high-speed particles and precise clocks on fast-moving aircraft. Yet the implications for our own lives are both mysterious and poetic. Imagine each moment of the traveling twin's journey as a delicate droplet of time, flowing slowly through the vast stream of the cosmos. In the high-speed expanse of space, these droplets stretch out, and the passage of time becomes a fluid, almost dreamlike state. In contrast, the earthbound twin experiences time in its familiar, relentless tick, a steady pulse that seems eternal and unchanging. This divergence in the experience of time is not merely a quirk of physics, it is a profound insight into the nature of reality. The twin paradox invites us to appreciate that time, like the gentle unfolding of a flower, can be both constant and mutable, a paradox that echoes the subtle contradictions of our own inner lives. In our moments of quiet reflection, we may find that our perception of time shifts gently as we drift between wakefulness and sleep, much like the twins drifting apart and coming back together across the vast distances of space and experience. Meditation on change and continuity. As you continue to ponder the twin paradox, allow it to serve as a metaphor for the dual nature of existence. Consider that while one twin's journey through space represents a literal slowing of time, it also mirrors the internal experiences of change and continuity that we all share. In our lives, there are moments when time seems to slow down, when the world feels suspended in a moment of deep introspection. There are also moments when time rushes by, when the accumulation of experiences leaves us feeling both older and richer in memory. Reflect on your own life. Perhaps there were periods when you felt time was an endless, gentle stream, each moment, laden with significance. In contrast, there may have been times when the days blended into one another, a blur of experiences that left little trace. The twin paradox reminds us that these variations in our perception of time are not anomalies, but natural parts of the human experience. Much like the twin who travels at near light speed, our minds sometimes journey into realms where the normal rules of time seem to dissolve. When you close your eyes at night and let your thoughts wander, you may feel that time has loosened its grip, a sensation that can be both comforting and liberating. In these moments, you become aware that time is not a strict sequence of events, but a fluid, ever-changing tapestry that weaves together the threads of memory, emotion, and experience. The paradox as a source of wonder. There is a unique beauty in the mystery of the twin paradox. It encapsulates the awe-inspiring nature of the universe, a reminder that the cosmos, with its endless expanse and enigmatic laws, holds secrets that can transform our understanding of reality. The idea that time itself is relative, that the pace of life can change depending on one's journey, is both humbling and inspiring. Embracing the mystery. Before sleep, as you prepare to drift off into a peaceful slumber, allow the reflections on the twin paradox to serve as a comforting backdrop. There is a serene allure in the idea that time can be both elastic and immutable, a concept that invites you to let go of the rigid structures of expectation and to embrace the gentle flow of existence. Imagine the soft hum of the universe as it whispers through the corridors of your mind. The paradox gently reminds you that while our experiences of time may differ, they are all part of a larger, interconnected whole, a cosmic dance in which every moment, every memory, and every breath is interwoven into the fabric of being. In Sorites, this quiet space, you can surrender to the mystery, recognizing that some questions are meant not to be solved, but to be savored. Just as the twin who journeys through the cosmos experiences time in a way that defies simple explanation, so too can you let your own experience of time evolve naturally, without the need for strict definitions or final answers. Let the thought of the twins' reunion, where the contrast of their experiences creates a poignant moment of connection, become a soothing image in your mind. Allow it to remind you that life, with all its shifts and surprises, is a beautiful tapestry, one that unfolds gradually, inviting you to explore its depths with curiosity and wonder. A final whisper of timeless reflection. As your mind settles into the gentle rhythm of night, carry with you the soft echoes of the twin paradox. In its enigmatic question of which twin is older and what does it truly mean to age, we find a profound meditation on the nature of time itself. Embrace the paradox as a tender reminder that every journey, whether taken at near-light speed or in the quiet moments of daily life, contributes to the grand, timeless narrative of existence. May these reflections on the elasticity of time and the mysterious beauty of the universe cradle you into a deep, restorative sleep. As you surrender to the night, let the wonder of the twin paradox become a quiet, guiding star, a beacon of gentle mystery that lights your way into a realm of peaceful dreams, where time flows softly and every moment is a precious note in the symphony of life. The paradox of free will. Close your eyes and picture a vast, star-lit sky. Each star shines with a certainty that seems etched in the cosmos, as if every moment and event were pre-written in the grand design of the universe. In this vision, the laws of nature and the sequence of events unfold with a mechanical precision that suggests everything is predetermined. Every ripple in a pond, every gust of wind, every heartbeat appears to follow a set path, a cosmic clockwork that ticks on without pause. Yet as you sink deeper into relaxation, you remember that you experience life as if you are making choices. When you decide what to eat for dinner or whether to take a walk at sunset, you feel that these decisions are yours, free and unbound by an invisible script. This gentle conflict between the universe's apparent determinism and the personal experience of free will lies at the heart of the paradox. The gentle dance of determinism is the philosophical idea that every event, including human actions, is the inevitable result of preceding causes. Imagine a row of falling dominoes, each one knocking the next in a continuous, predictable sequence. In a strictly deterministic universe, your choices are like those dominoes, set in motion by the intricate interplay of physical laws, past events, and external influences. Consider for a moment the thought that every decision you make is shaped by a multitude of factors: your genetic makeup, your environment, the culture that surrounds you, and even the weather on that particular day. Each of these elements, like the pieces in a vast mosaic, comes together to form the decisions you believe are entirely your own. It's a humbling thought that your sense of agency might simply be the product of an intricate, predetermined chain of events. Yet as you gently breathe in the cool night air, a counterpoint emerges from the quiet depths of your consciousness. You feel that spark of choice, that inner voice urging you to decide, to change direction, to embrace the unknown. This feeling of freedom is immediate and personal, a direct contrast to the detached, almost mechanical logic of determinism. The illusion or reality of free will. This brings us to a gentle yet profound question. Is free will merely an illusion, a comforting narrative we tell ourselves, or does it hold real substance in our lives? Many philosophers have grappled with this question, and the answers vary as widely as the stars in the night sky. One perspective, known as hard determinism, argues that all events, including human actions, are determined by causes beyond our control, and that free will is nothing more than an illusion. In this view, every choice is like a line in a grand predetermined story, a story that has been unfolding since the dawn of time. On the other hand, compatibilism offers a more soothing resolution. It suggests that even in a deterministic universe, we can still experience free will in a meaningful way. According to this perspective, free will is not about absolute independence from causality, but rather about acting according to our desires and intentions, even if those desires themselves are shaped by past events. In this light, free will becomes a gentle harmony between destiny and personal agency, a symphony where every note, though predetermined, resonates with the unique expression of your inner self. As you lie in the embrace of the night, imagine that your free will is like a soft melody playing in the background of a larger cosmic score. Even if every note was written long ago, the experience of hearing and feeling that music is intensely personal and real. This perspective can be both comforting and liberating, a reminder that you are not merely a passive observer in the grand theater of the universe, but an active participant whose choices imbue the predetermined script with meaning and beauty. Embracing the paradox in the quiet of the night, Allow the paradox of free will to become a gentle meditation on your own life. Reflect on moments when you felt truly free, the times when you made decisions that felt spontaneous, creative, or courageous. Perhaps it was a quiet evening spent writing, or a sudden impulse to explore a new path. In those moments, free will seemed to flourish, defying the rigid chains of destiny. Now consider that even these moments of seeming spontaneity might have been influenced by countless factors, experiences from your past, the cultural narratives that shaped you, even the intricate workings of your brain. Yet this realization does not diminish their beauty. Rather, it deepens your appreciation for the complexity of being. It suggests that the interplay between determinism and free will is not a battle to be won, but a dance to be experienced. Each step a graceful blend of destiny and personal choice. Imagine yourself as a gentle leaf floating on a winding river. The river's course may have been set long ago by the contours of the land, yet your journey along its surface is uniquely yours. Each twist and turn, each moment of stillness or sudden drift is a testament to the delicate balance between the predetermined flow and the freedom to drift in unexpected directions. This metaphor can serve as a calming balm for the mind. In the quiet moments before sleep, let the notion that free will and determinism coexist bring you solace. Embrace the idea that while the grand narrative of the universe might be written in the stars, your personal story is colored by the choices you make, the passions you nurture, and the dreams you dare to follow. A final meditation on choice and destiny. As you continue to relax and drift towards sleep, take one last moment to consider the profound mystery of free will. Acknowledge that the paradox of free will is not a puzzle to be solved with the mind alone, but an invitation to experience the richness of life's tapestry. It reminds you that every decision, every quiet choice, contributes to a larger, beautiful pattern, a pattern that may be predetermined, yet is brought to life by your own unique expression. In this gentle state of surrender, allow yourself to accept that some questions will remain unanswered and that the beauty of existence often lies in its mysteries. Like the soft murmur of a distant lullaby, the paradox of free will whispers of a world where logic and intuition coexist, a world where every moment is both a reflection of the past and a promise of the future. As you let go of the need for absolute certainty, find comfort in the delicate balance between fate and choice. May this meditation on the paradox of free will gently cradle your thoughts and guide you into a deep, restorative sleep, a sleep where the mysteries of the universe become a soft, unhurried dreamscape, inviting you to rest and to wonder at the beauty of being. Drift off now, knowing that in the quiet spaces of your mind, the dance between destiny and free will plays on, a timeless waltz that adds a tender, enduring melody to the symphony of your life. The two envelopes problem. Picture two envelopes resting on a small table before you. You are told that one envelope contains twice as much money as the other. You choose one envelope, and before you open it, you are offered the chance to switch. At first glance, it appears that you might gain an advantage by switching. The reasoning goes like this. Suppose the envelope you picked contains an amount, say X. Then, the other envelope might contain either 2X or X2. When you try to calculate the expected gain by switching, a curious thought emerges, a calculation that seems to imply a net benefit regardless of which envelope you initially chose. This puzzle creates a gentle yet persistent tension between what our logical mind tells us and the balanced nature of the initial conditions. On one hand, the problem seems symmetric. The two envelopes are indistinguishable before the decision is made. On the other hand, the allure of gaining more appears to be hidden in the mathematics of the situation. This contrast invites you to slowly unravel the layers of the paradox, like peeling back the delicate petals of a nighttime flower. The logic behind the lure. To switch, let us delve deeper into the quiet reasoning that entices you to switch envelopes. Imagine you hold one envelope, its contents unknown, yet your mind begins to assign a value to it. Let's call this amount X. Naturally, you think about the other envelope, It must contain either half of x, if x is the larger sum, or twice x, if x is the smaller sum. When you try to compute the expected value of the other envelope, you might reason as follows. There is a 50% chance the other envelope contains 2x. There is a 50% chance it contains x and 2. The expected value then seems to be the average of these two possibilities. Expected value of g veron min 2 and 5x 2x plus 0 at 25x 2x plus x 4 of x on text nans. Expected value is 0.5 times 2x plus 0.5 times s and frac was next by 2 x plus and frac what's in unfortunate should have friend frac odds fix for 3 what's expected value. There to my 5x 2x third 5x 2x 6x power x 4 fx. This calculation suggests that the other envelope is worth 1.25 times the value of the one you hold, a conclusion that whispers switch for you stand to gain more. Yet, this reasoning holds regardless of which envelope you initially select. It feels as though there is an eternal invitation to switch, a gentle, persistent nudge from the realm of numbers that defies our intuition of balance. As you contemplate this, allow your mind to relax with the understanding that sometimes the allure of mathematical expectation may hide deeper complexities. The paradox is not meant to be a call to endless switching. Rather, it gently reminds you that our intuition about value and probability is often more intricate than it appears at first glance. Reflecting on symmetry and paradox, take a moment to let the soothing rhythm of your thoughts carry you deeper into the paradox. The two envelopes problem is remarkable precisely because of its symmetry. Before any envelope is opened, there is no reason to favor one over the other. Each envelope stands as an equal bearer of possibility. This equality in conditions brings us to the heart of the paradox. If switching seems to offer an advantage by that calculation, why would the symmetry not already account for that possibility? Here, the paradox gently unsettles the neat balance of reason. It shows us that even when conditions appear perfectly even, our analysis may lead us into a loop of contradiction. This is a quiet meditation on the nature of probability, a reminder that numbers and logic, while powerful tools, sometimes lead us to conclusions that challenge the very simplicity of our intuition. Think of it like the soft glow of twilight, merging day into night. The transition is fluid, the boundaries indistinct. The mathematics behind the expected value in the two envelopes problem suggests a benefit, yet the inherent symmetry of the setup whispers of balance. This delicate interplay between apparent gain and inherent equality is what makes the paradox both captivating and, in its own way, beautifully enigmatic. The broader implications of uncertain value. As you continue to reflect, consider how the two envelopes problem can be seen as a gentle metaphor for the choices we make in life. Often we find ourselves faced with decisions where the potential for gain or loss is shrouded in uncertainty. The allure to switch, driven by the hope of a better outcome, mirrors our everyday tendency to seek improvement, even when the current state is, by all rational measures, fair and balanced. Yet this pursuit of a better option is not without its pitfalls. The paradox reminds us that sometimes the very act of re-evaluating our choices can lead us into a cycle of indecision, a quiet loop where the promise of improvement is as elusive as it is enticing. It gently invites you to consider the possibility that the value we assign to outcomes might be influenced not just by objective calculation, but by our subjective experience of hope and uncertainty. Allow these thoughts to settle like soft echoes in your mind. The two envelopes problem, with its promise of perpetual gain, is a quiet reflection on the nature of desire, expectation, and the sometimes illusory nature of what we perceive as beneficial. It calls us to appreciate that not all that glitters in the realm of probability leads to a tangible advantage, and that sometimes the beauty of a situation lies in its inherent balance. A meditative pause on choice and value in the tranquil darkness of the night, as your thoughts meander like gentle streams. Let the paradox be a meditative pause. Consider that in life, as in the problem before you, the allure of change, of switching envelopes, may often be more about the hope for something better than the reality of the situation. Yet, the very act of pondering this choice deepens your understanding of how value is determined. Visualize the envelopes as symbols of possibility. Each envelope holds a mystery, a promise perhaps of unexpected fortune. And yet, their symmetry speaks of the fundamental equilibrium of the world. Around you, this balance is a source of quiet comfort, a reminder that while change may sometimes seem beneficial, the world is often designed to maintain a subtle, reassuring balance. Let this understanding soothe your mind as you drift deeper into a state of relaxation. The two envelopes problem gently teaches that not every enticing opportunity warrants a change, and that sometimes contentment arises from appreciating the inherent balance in our circumstances. There is a quiet wisdom in recognizing that while the lure of switching may be mathematically persuasive, the true value of what you have is often just as significant. A final whisper of mathematical mystery as your exploration of the two envelopes problem draws to a serene close. Take a moment to let these gentle reflections meld into the background of your thoughts. Embrace the paradox as a soft, enduring mystery, a tender reminder that the interplay of logic and intuition is as subtle as the changing hues of a twilight sky. Allow yourself to surrender to the comforting notion that life, much like this mathematical puzzle, is filled with choices that are both balanced and mysterious. In the quiet moments before sleep, let the soft allure of possibility and the gentle equilibrium of your circumstances cradle you in a state of peaceful acceptance. May these meditative musings on the two envelopes problem guide you into a deep, restorative slumber, where the gentle dance of numbers and intuition merges into a harmonious lullaby. Drift off, knowing that in the serene expanse of your dreams, every choice is part of a grand tapestry of balance and possibility. A tapestry woven with the tender threads of logic, hope, and quiet wonder. The Paradox of Buridan's Asin. The soft glow of a starlit evening, imagine the donkey's world as one where every option seems equally good. There are no cues, no subtle differences to guide the choice. The donkey's mind, like yours in moments of quiet reflection, is caught in a delicate balance. When two alternatives appear indistinguishable, how does one decide? In this scenario, pure logic offers no solution, leaving the creature frozen in a moment of indecision. The paradox, named after the 14th century philosopher Jean Buridan, invites us to contemplate a profound question. Is there such a thing as perfect rationality, or can the very act of reasoning sometimes prevent us from making any choice at all? As you sink deeper into the calm of the night, let this puzzle gently unfurl in your mind. A soft inquiry into how we navigate life's choices when the path ahead is shrouded in equal possibility. The donkey's dilemma. Two identical choices. Visualize the donkey standing between the two bountiful heaps of hay. Each stack is identical in appearance, aroma, and texture, each a mirror image of the other. To the donkey, both are equally attractive, each promising the sustenance it so desperately needs. Yet, when confronted with such symmetry, its decision-making process comes to a halt. There is no discernible difference to tip the scales in favor of one over the other. This scenario is more than a simple puzzle about an animal's choice. It reflects a universal truth about the human experience. When presented with two equally appealing options, our minds can become ensnared in a web of overanalysis. Much like the donkey, we may find ourselves hesitating, caught between choices because our rationality demands a clear, objective difference, something that, in many cases, simply isn't there. Implications for decision-making and rationality. Paradox of Buridan's Ass gently challenges the assumption that pure logic always leads to the best decision. When every alternative appears equal, logic itself can lead to a stalemate, a state where the act of choosing becomes an impossible task. In our own lives, we sometimes face moments where every option seems equally viable. Perhaps you've experienced the frustration of choosing between two equally attractive career paths, or the indecision of selecting a book to read when all choices seem appealing. In these moments, the pressure to find a rational choice can be overwhelming. Our minds search for subtle clues, for even the tiniest difference that might justify one decision over another. Yet, when no such difference exists, the pursuit of perfect rationality can leave us stranded in inaction. The paradox thus serves as a gentle reminder that sometimes overthinking can be as much a hindrance as ignorance. It shows us that the beauty of life often lies in its imperfections, and that the insistence on flawless logic might in fact paralyze us. Philosophical reflections on indecision. As you let these thoughts gently settle, consider the broader implications of this paradox on the nature of free will and human behavior. The donkey's plight is not just about hay. It is a metaphor for the intricate dance between choice and hesitation that we experience every day. When faced with two options that appear identical, the expectation of a clear, logical solution may be unrealistic. Instead, we are invited to accept that indecision is sometimes an inherent part of the human condition. This reflection may stir a sense of calm acceptance within you. Like a soft breeze that carries away the rigidity of thought, the paradox encourages you to embrace uncertainty as a natural part of life. In doing so, it opens up a space for intuition, a gentle whisper that can guide you when logic alone seems to fail. Perhaps, rather than striving for a perfectly rational choice, we might find comfort in the simple act of choosing, even if the decision is not backed by any objective superiority. Finding balance. Amid uncertainty, think of a time when you were faced with a difficult decision. There might have been a moment when the options were so evenly matched that you felt a deep internal conflict, a quiet battle between the desire to act and the fear of making the wrong choice. In those instances, the wisdom of the paradox of Buridan's ass might offer solace. It reminds you that sometimes the very act of choosing is an expression of freedom, even when the logical reasons for one choice over another are not immediately apparent. Imagine the donkey once more, standing in that serene field, the two stacks of hay bathed in soft moonlight. Though it struggles to decide, this moment of indecision is not merely a failure. It is a poignant illustration of the complexity of decision-making. It teaches us that the pressure for perfect logic can be counterproductive, and that sometimes allowing ourselves to make a choice without overanalysis can lead to a more genuine expression of our desires. In the quiet hours before sleep, you may find that embracing uncertainty becomes a form of liberation, a way to let go of the relentless need for perfection. Just as the donkey's predicament challenges the limits of pure reason, so too do our own moments of indecision encourage us to trust in our instincts and to accept that not every choice must be made with absolute certainty. Meditative pause on action and inaction. As you lie in the soft glow of the night, let the paradox of Buridan's ass become a meditative pause, a space where the tension between action and inaction gently dissolves. Reflect on the notion that, in many situations, the act of deciding, even if it seems arbitrary, can be more valuable than remaining paralyzed by indecision. Envision yourself stepping away from a crossroads in your life. The path ahead is shrouded in a gentle mist, with no clear sign pointing you in one direction or the other. In that moment, the pressure to find a perfect answer fades away, replaced by the serene realization that every choice is part of a larger journey. Like the donkey, you might feel the pull of two equally inviting options, yet the simple act of choosing, of stepping forward despite the uncertainty, can be a profound expression of your inner strength. In this meditative space, consider that indecision itself is a natural part of the human experience, a quiet interval in the music of life where the melody takes a gentle pause. These moments, though they may seem to slow you down, are also opportunities for reflection and growth. They allow you to savor the present, to consider the possibilities without the need for immediate resolution, a final whisper of acceptance. As our gentle exploration of the paradox of Buridan's ass draws to a close, take a moment to let these reflections settle into the quiet corners of your mind. Embrace the soft wisdom that sometimes the quest for perfect rationality is less important than the simple act of living. In the balance between choice and indecision lies a tender truth, a truth that invites you to trust in your own inner voice and to accept that not every moment can or should be governed by logic alone. Allow yourself to drift into a peaceful state, carrying with you the understanding that uncertainty is not a flaw, but a natural, even beautiful, aspect of life. Just as the donkey's dilemma challenges the confines of strict rationality, your own moments of hesitation can become a source of gentle insight, a reminder that sometimes the act of choosing, even if imperfect, is a victory in itself. May this meditation on the paradox of Buridan's ass guide you into a deep, restorative sleep, where the quiet acceptance of uncertainty nurtures your spirit. Let the soft whispers of indecision and the subtle beauty of choice merge into a serene lullaby, a soothing reminder that life's most profound lessons often emerge in the spaces between clear answers. Drift off now, with a heart unburdened by the need for absolute certainty, and let the gentle mystery of your own journey cradle you into a night of peaceful, dream-filled rest. The Grandfather Paradox. Picture yourself in a quiet room, the soft glow of a nightlight casting gentle shadows on the walls. As you breathe deeply, let your thoughts wander back in time, not to a specific moment in your life, but to the vast tapestry of history, where every event is interwoven with countless others. In this context, imagine that you have discovered a way to travel back through time, a journey that seems as fantastical as it is captivating. With this power, you decide to alter a key moment in your family's past, preventing your grandfather from meeting your grandmother. At first, the idea might seem harmless, a small tweak in the vast expanse of time. But as the implications unfold in your mind, a paradox emerges. If that meeting never occurs, then your parent would never be born, and subsequently you would never exist. Yet if you never exist, how could you have traveled back in time in the first place? This loop of cause and effect creates a core contradiction, a riddle that challenges our most basic assumptions about the linear progression of time and the nature of existence. The intricacies of causality and existence. In our everyday lives, we are accustomed to a clear chain of events. One moment leads to the next in an orderly sequence. However, the Grandfather Paradox gently disrupts this comforting notion by suggesting that a single action in the past could unravel the very fabric of your existence. Imagine for a moment the profound implications of such a disruption. Every decision you make, every tiny ripple in time, could conceivably alter the course of history. Yet the paradox specifically asks you to consider an extreme case, an act that negates your own existence. Consider the image of a river flowing steadily towards the ocean. Every droplet of water follows its course, contributing to the river's continuous journey. Now imagine that at some point you remove a crucial droplet, one that causes a chain reaction disrupting the flow. The river, altered in its very essence, no longer reaches the ocean as it once did. In the Grandfather Paradox, the act of preventing your grandparents from meeting is like removing that crucial droplet, a single intervention that has ramifications so vast it threatens to erase the river of your life entirely. This vivid imagery helps to illuminate why the paradox is so compelling. It is not simply a question of whether time travel is possible, but a meditation on the delicate balance of causality. Every action, no matter how small, is a thread in the intricate tapestry of existence. When one of these threads is pulled, the entire fabric can unravel, leaving behind a void where once there was continuity. Contemplating the illusion of linear time, as you lie back and allow the rhythmic beating of your heart to guide your thoughts, ponder the nature of time itself. In our everyday experience, time appears linear, a gentle progression from the past, through the present, and into the future. Yet the Grandfather Paradox invites us to question this linearity. What if time were not as straightforward as it seems? What if, instead, time was a vast, interconnected web where every moment influences every other? In such a view, the boundaries between past, present, and future blur into one continuous flow, a cosmic dance where each step affects the next. The paradox suggests that intervening in the past might not simply change one event, but could reverberate through the entire web of existence, altering the very course of who we are. This idea can be both disquieting and strangely comforting. On one hand, it challenges our sense of individuality and permanence. On the other, it reminds us that our lives are part of a grand, interconnected whole, a delicate interplay of moments that, together, create the story of our existence. Imagine yourself as a leaf drifting on a gentle stream. The water carries you along a winding path, and while you may sometimes try to steer your course, ultimately you are part of the greater flow. In the same way, the events of your life are intertwined with countless others. The Grandfather Paradox, with its dramatic implications, serves as a reminder that even the most personal aspects of our existence are connected to a broader, more mysterious order. The paradox as a window into our existence. The Grandfather Paradox also invites us to reflect on the nature of identity. What does it mean to exist? If your very existence depends on a chain of events, and if one link in that chain is broken, who are you? This question reaches deep into the heart of philosophical inquiry, touching on themes of fate, destiny, and the essence of self. It is a gentle prompt to consider that our identities might not be as fixed or as inviolable as we sometimes assume. Embracing the mystery. Before sleep, as you prepare to drift off into the soft embrace of sleep, let the Grandfather Paradox serve as a gentle meditation on the nature of time and existence. Instead of seeking to resolve the contradiction, allow it to fill your mind like a serene riddle, a puzzle that may never be fully solved, but which enriches your understanding of life's delicate balance. Picture yourself lying on a quiet hillside under a vast, starry sky. The cosmos stretches out before you, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that lie beyond our immediate perception. In that moment, the paradox of time travel is less a source of anxiety and more a doorway to wonder, a call to appreciate the mystery inherent in every heartbeat, every memory, every breath. In this space of quiet acceptance, understand that the contradictions of the paradox are not flaws in the fabric of reality, but invitations to explore deeper truths. They remind you that life is a blend of certainty and mystery, of known paths and unforeseen detours. And in that blend, there is a beauty that transcends logic, a beauty that soothes the mind and comforts the soul. A final whisper of timeless reflection. Before you allow sleep to take you into its restorative embrace, take one final, gentle moment to reflect on the profound implications of the Grandfather Paradox. Acknowledge that while the idea of traveling back in time and altering the course of your own existence may seem impossibly complex, it also highlights the fragile interconnection of all things. It reminds you that your life, with all its twists and turns, is part of a vast, mysterious tapestry, a tapestry where every thread matters. Let this realization settle softly within you. The paradox, with its core contradiction, is not meant to disturb you, but to inspire a deeper contemplation of the nature of time, identity, and existence. It is a quiet invitation to embrace the uncertainties of life and to find peace in the knowledge that not every mystery needs to be unraveled before you drift into a dream-filled sleep. May these meditative musings on the Grandfather Paradox cradle your thoughts as you surrender to the gentle rhythms of the night. Drift off with a heart open to wonder, knowing that in the vast, timeless expanse of the universe, every contradiction is but a part of the magnificent, ever-unfolding story of life. The Infinite Hotel. Paradox, a calm. Introduction to Infinity and Vision. A grand hotel with an infinite number of rooms, each one numbered in perfect order. At first glance, you might imagine that if every room is occupied, there is simply no space left for another guest. Yet, in the world of infinity, our everyday notions of full and empty become delightfully blurred. The infinite hotel paradox, first popularized by mathematicians exploring the nature of infinite sets, invites us to consider that even a hotel with every room taken can always make room for more. Picture yourself entering this magnificent establishment. The lobby is bathed in soft, ambient light, and a quiet murmur of possibility fills the air. Each door leads to a room, and every room is occupied by a guest who has come to experience the mysteries of infinity. Despite this apparent saturation, the hotel possesses an almost magical quality. It can accommodate an extra guest or even infinitely many new arrivals by gently rearranging its occupants. This idea, both startling and serene, challenges the rigid boundaries of our finite world. The gentle mechanics of an infinite shift allow your thoughts to drift slowly as we explore how the hotel makes room for more guests. Imagine that a new guest arrives at the hotel. In a finite establishment, this situation would cause frustration, but here, the hotel has a clever plan. The manager asks each guest to move from room N to room N+1. With this simple orderly shift, room 1 becomes free, welcoming the new guest. Though every guest has been nudged one room over, the overall occupancy of the hotel remains infinite. This soft, systematic rearrangement is a gentle demonstration of how infinity works, where adding one more does not disrupt the balance but instead creates a new space without diminishing the old. As you imagine the scene, visualize the quiet efficiency of this process, a calm, orderly migration where every guest shifts with grace and a vacant room appears as if by magic. The infinite hotel paradox becomes a soothing metaphor for the resilience of endless possibility. It reminds us that, in the realm of the infinite, even what seems to be full is not a limit but an invitation to discover new ways to welcome more. Infinity in our daily lives reflect now on the deeper meaning of this paradox. The concept of infinity is not confined solely to abstract mathematics. It touches every aspect of our lives. Consider how time itself can feel infinite during moments of quiet reflection, or how the possibilities for growth and change seem boundless when we look inward. Just as the infinite hotel can always find room for another guest, our own lives can often expand to embrace new experiences, relationships, and insights, even when we believe we have reached our limits. This gentle idea can be a source of comfort. In moments when life feels overwhelmingly full, when responsibilities and memories seem to crowd our minds, the paradox invites us to consider that there is always space for something new. Much like the hotel's endless corridors, our inner worlds may be far more capacious than they appear, capable of accommodating fresh perspectives and unforeseen joys. Imagine each day as a room in the infinite hotel of your life. Even when every moment seems accounted for, there exists the potential for renewal, a quiet invitation to rearrange, reprioritize, and rediscover what is most meaningful. In this light, the paradox becomes a metaphor for the ever-unfolding journey of self-discovery, where the boundaries of possibility extend far beyond what we once thought possible. The paradox as a meditation on possibility. As you settle deeper into relaxation, allow the infinite hotel paradox to serve as a meditation on the beauty of limitless potential. Let it remind you that our finite experiences are merely a small glimpse into a vast, unending universe of possibilities. Like the endless corridors of the hotel, the opportunities for learning, growth, and transformation are boundless. This thought can be as calming as it is liberating, a reminder that no matter how full our days might seem, there is always room for another moment of grace. Visualize the hotel's long, gently lit hallway stretching into the distance, its doors aligned in perfect symmetry. Each door represents an opportunity, a new beginning waiting to be embraced. The paradox gently whispers that even when every possibility appears to be taken, there is always a way to create space for something extraordinary. This perspective can transform the way you approach challenges, turning moments of apparent limitation into opportunities for creative reorganization and renewal. A soft reflection on change and continuity. Consider the elegant interplay between change and continuity that the paradox reveals. The hotel, though seemingly static in its infinite occupancy, remains in a state of constant, yet gentle, flux. Every time a new guest arrives, the subtle shift in room assignments preserves the hotel's infinite nature while welcoming additional life into its corridors. This dynamic balance between stability and change mirrors the rhythms of nature and our own lives, a continuous cycle of endings and beginnings that ensures the flow of life remains unbroken. In your own experience, you may have observed that change often comes quietly, without the dramatic upheaval we sometimes expect. Like the soft rearrangement of guests in an infinite hotel, the small shifts in your daily routine can open up space for fresh insights and new possibilities. This gentle transformation is a testament to the resilience of life and the ever-present potential for renewal, even in the face of apparent constraints. Allow yourself to be enveloped by this peaceful notion that every end contains within it the seed of a new beginning. The Infinite Hotel Paradox becomes a soothing reminder that life, in all its complexity, is an endless series of opportunities waiting to be discovered, embraced, and celebrated. A final whisper before sleep, as you prepare to surrender to the soft embrace of sleep. Let the lessons of the Infinite Hotel Paradox linger in your mind like a comforting melody. Reflect on the gentle truth that infinity, with all its mysteries and marvels, offers a perspective that transcends the limits of our finite understanding. In the quiet, unhurried moments before sleep, allow yourself to believe in the boundless potential that exists both within you and in the world around you. Imagine yourself walking down an endless corridor of possibility, each step imbued with the promise of renewal and discovery. The paradox teaches us that what may seem complete or full is never truly the end, that there is always a way to make room for more beauty, more growth, and more wonder. In this serene state, embrace the infinite nature of your own journey. Let the quiet logic of the infinite hotel soothe your mind, inviting you to rest in the knowledge that life's potential is limitless. With each gentle breath, allow yourself to drift into a peaceful sleep, cradled by the comforting thought that no matter how many doors are closed, there will always be another waiting to be opened. May these reflections on the Infinite Hotel Paradox guide you into a deep, restorative rest, a slumber where every dream is a reminder of the endless possibilities that lie within the vast, uncharted corridors of your mind. Drift off now, and let the gentle promise of infinity carry you into a night filled with quiet wonder and serene possibility. The Duck-Rabbit Illusion, Cognitive Perception Paradox. Picture the image, the curves of what might be a duck's bill, the soft outline of a rabbit's ears, all merging in a single ambiguous form. At one moment, your mind may settle on the image of a duck, its rounded beak and the familiar shape of its head emerging from the subtle details. In the next, the same lines transform into the delicate profile of a rabbit, complete with long ears and a gentle expression. This effortless shift between two interpretations is not a trick of the eye, but a profound demonstration of how our brains work. In that gentle space of uncertainty, you begin to understand that perception is not a fixed, rigid process. Rather, it is fluid and ever-changing, a dynamic interplay between what is out there in the world and how our minds choose to interpret it. The duck-rabbit illusion is a soft invitation to embrace ambiguity, to realize that our view of reality is not absolute, but is shaped by the lens of our own experiences and expectations. The dance of perception and reality. As you continue to dwell on the illusion, allow your thoughts to settle into a meditative rhythm. Notice how your initial perception might shift without any conscious effort. One moment, you might be captivated by the familiar outline of a duck, and the next, by the gentle features of a rabbit. This delicate dance between two distinct images reflects a deeper truth. Our perception of reality is a creative act. Our brains constantly sift through sensory information, making quick decisions about what we see and experience. In doing so, they fill in gaps, resolve ambiguities, and construct a coherent picture of the world. Yet, the duck-rabbit illusion reminds us that this process is not infallible. It is a subjective experience, one that can change with a slight, Shift in focus or perspective. Imagine yourself sitting by a tranquil pond, watching the ripples dance on the surface of the water. Just as the water's reflection can distort and transform the images of trees and clouds, so too can our minds reinterpret the shapes and contours of the world around us. This realization is both humbling and liberating. It suggests that reality is not as solid as it appears. Rather, it is a tapestry woven from threads of interpretation, memory, and emotion. Implications for cognitive understanding. The beauty of the duck-rabbit illusion lies not only in its playful duality, but also in its deeper implications for cognitive science. It serves as a gentle reminder that what we perceive is not always a direct reflection of what is out there. Instead, our perceptions are influenced by context, past experiences, and even our current state of mind. This means that two people can look at the same image and see two entirely different things, each interpretation valid in its own right. Consider for a moment how this applies to everyday life. Our interactions, decisions, and beliefs are all filtered through our individual perceptions. In a world where nothing is ever completely black or white, the illusion offers a soft lesson in empathy and open-mindedness. By acknowledging that our view of reality is inherently subjective, we can become more tolerant of different perspectives and more accepting of the unknown. This gentle shift in thinking can be transformative. It encourages you to see beauty in ambiguity and to find comfort in uncertainty. The duck and the rabbit coexisting in a single image remind you that complexity often resides at the heart of simplicity. Just as the image offers multiple layers of meaning, so too does life present us with moments that invite us to look deeper and to appreciate the interplay between appearance and truth. A meditative pause on the nature of perception. As you let these reflections sink in, imagine the illusion as a metaphor for your inner world. Every thought, every emotion, is like a shifting image, sometimes clear, sometimes ambiguous, but always part of a larger, intricate mosaic. In moments of quiet introspection, you may find that your own perceptions change as gently as the image before you. This is a natural, even beautiful part of being human. Allow your mind to wander freely, without the need for immediate answers or clear definitions. The duck-rabbit illusion invites you to embrace the mystery of your own consciousness, to explore the idea that every perception is a moment of creation, shaped by your unique experiences and desires. In this gentle exploration, you may discover that the beauty of life lies not in rigid definitions, but in the fluid interplay of possibility and interpretation. Reflect on times when a change in perspective brought unexpected insight. A moment when what seemed to be one thing revealed itself to be something entirely different upon closer examination. These instances, like the shifting contours of the duck-rabbit image, are reminders that life is a series of unfolding mysteries, each one offering a new angle on the familiar, embracing ambiguity as a path to inner peace. In the quiet spaces of your mind, let the lessons of the duck-rabbit illusion become a source of calm and clarity. Accept that ambiguity is not something to be feared or rushed away from, but rather a natural aspect of your inner life. As you lie in the soft darkness of the night, allow the duality of the illusion to soothe you. Its gentle contradictions a lullaby that invites you to let go of the need for absolute certainty. Imagine each time your perception shifts, like the moment when you suddenly see a duck, only to find it transforms into a rabbit, as a soft, rhythmic pulse that mirrors the flow of your breath. With every inhalation, welcome the mystery. With every exhalation, release the need for a single, unchanging truth. In this way, the paradox of the duck and the rabbit becomes a quiet meditation on the impermanent, ever-changing nature of reality. Let this gentle uncertainty carry you into a state of deep relaxation. Understand that the world is full of shifting images, each one a reminder that life's beauty is found in its endless variety. Embracing ambiguity can open your mind to new experiences and foster a sense of wonder, as you recognize that every moment is an invitation to see the world anew. A final whisper of perceptual wonder as our exploration of the duck-rabbit illusion draws to a close, take one last, gentle moment to savor the soft, layered beauty of perception. Let the image of the duck and the rabbit, intertwined in a single, enigmatic form, be a symbol of the profound complexity within you. Acknowledge that, like this illusion, your view of the world is rich with multiple meanings, each one a testament to the wonder of your own unique experience. Allow these reflections to meld into the background of your thoughts, becoming a quiet mantra that soothes and inspires. In the stillness before sleep, as you drift into a realm of dreams, know that the mysteries of perception are always with you. A gentle reminder that life, in all its ambiguous splendor, is as fluid and beautiful as the ever-changing shapes of the duck-rabbit image. May this meditation on the cognitive perception paradox carry you into a deep, restorative sleep, where every shifting thought is a soft echo of the infinite possibilities that lie within the realm of your dreams. Drift off with a heart open to wonder, knowing that in the gentle dance of perception, every moment holds the promise of new discovery and quiet, abiding beauty. The Prisoner's Dilemma. A game theory paradox where two rational individuals might not cooperate even if it benefits them both. A quiet moment of reflection. Picture yourself in a dimly lit interrogation room. The air thick with tension. Across the table sits another prisoner, your accomplice. You are both caught in the middle of a crime, and now the authorities have separated you, presenting each of you with a choice. Betray the other to secure a lighter sentence or remain silent and risk a harsher punishment. You cannot communicate, and you have no idea what the other prisoner will do. As you sit in stillness, contemplating your next move, a realization dawns upon you. This isn't just a simple decision. It's a paradox, a game of logic, trust, and self-preservation. Welcome to the Prisoner's Dilemma, one of the most fascinating and unsettling puzzles in game theory. The setup, a test of rationality. Imagine the scenario laid out before you. If both you and your accomplice stay silent, you each receive a light sentence, perhaps just 1 year in prison. If one of you betrays the other while the other stays silent, the betrayer walks free while the silent prisoner serves a long sentence, maybe 5 years. If you both betray each other, you each serve a moderately long sentence, 3 years. At first glance, the logical choice seems obvious. Cooperation. If both prisoners stay silent, you both receive the best possible outcome together, but therein lies the paradox. Despite this, the rational decision for each individual appears to be betrayal. Why? Because from your perspective, no matter what the other prisoner does, betraying them always results in a better personal outcome. If they stay silent, you walk free. If they betray you, at least you won't end up with the harshest sentence. Since your accomplice faces the same logic, they, too, will likely choose to betray you. The result? A worse outcome for both. 3 years each instead of just 1. This dilemma highlights the conflict between individual rationality and collective benefit. It's a situation where self-interest leads to a worse outcome than mutual cooperation would. A paradox that shapes the world. Though originally designed as a thought experiment, the prisoner's dilemma isn't just a hypothetical scenario, it plays out all around us. Business competition. Two rival companies could agree to keep prices high and maintain profits, but the temptation to undercut the other and gain more market share often leads to price wars, reducing profits for both. Nuclear arms races. If two countries both disarm, they avoid unnecessary military spending and risk. But if one maintains weapons while the other disarms, the armed country gains dominance. Fearing this, both continue stockpiling weapons, leading to mutual fear and instability. Environmental issues. If all nations cooperate to reduce carbon emissions, climate change can be mitigated. But since reducing emissions can be costly, individual countries may refuse to do so, assuming others will take action instead, resulting in a collective failure. These real-world applications make the prisoner's dilemma more than just a mind puzzle. It's a window into human behavior, revealing how even the most logical choices can lead to unexpected and suboptimal outcomes. Breaking the cycle. The power of trust and repeated interaction. The standard prisoner's dilemma assumes a one-time decision, but what if it were repeated over and over? What if, after each round, you and your accomplice had to face the same choice again? This variation is known as the iterated prisoner's dilemma, and it introduces a crucial element: trust. In a single round, betrayal seems like the dominant strategy. But if you know you'll face the same partner repeatedly, a pattern emerges. If you betray them now, they may betray you in the future. Over time, cooperation becomes the better strategy because maintaining trust leads to long-term benefits. This mirrors real-life relationships, where consistent cooperation fosters trust, while repeated betrayals cause lasting damage. Nations, businesses, and even individuals navigate this dilemma daily, constantly weighing short-term gains against long-term relationships. A thought to drift into sleep. As you let your mind settle into the quiet rhythm of the night, consider the prisoner's dilemma as more than a theoretical puzzle. It's a reflection of the choices we make every day. Do we act in self-interest, or do we trust in mutual cooperation? In an ideal world, trust and collaboration would always prevail, but reality is often more complex, shaped by uncertainty and self-preservation. The paradox reminds us that while rationality may guide our actions, true wisdom lies in understanding the delicate balance between self-interest and collective well-being. Let these thoughts linger as you ease into a restful sleep, knowing that, somewhere, in a quiet corner of the universe, another mind is contemplating the very same dilemma. The Monty Hall Problem picture a classic game show set, where 3 closed doors stand before you. Behind one door lies a coveted prize, a brand new car, while the other 2 conceal goats. You choose one door, guided by hope and perhaps a touch of intuition. But before the chosen door is opened, the host, who knows what lies behind each door, opens one of the other 2, always revealing a goat. Now you face a decision. Stick with your original choice or switch to the remaining unopened door? At first glance, the situation might appear evenly balanced. After all, with 2 doors left, it seems logical to assume there is a 50-50 chance that the prize is behind either door. Yet, the mathematics of probability tells us otherwise. The counterintuitive answer is that you should always switch, because doing so doubles your chance of winning the car. Unraveling the logic. A calm walk through numbers. Let us meander slowly through the reasoning behind this surprising conclusion. Initially, when you pick a door, there is a 1 in 3 chance that you have chosen the car and a 2 in 3 chance that you have chosen a goat. When the host, armed with perfect knowledge, reveals a goat behind one of the doors you did not choose, the probabilities do not simply split into a neat 50-50. Instead, the initial probabilities persist. Imagine the following. If you initially chose the car, a 1 to 3 chance, switching would lead you to a goat. However, if you initially chose a goat, a 2-3 chance, switching would lead you to the car. Thus, by switching, you effectively win the prize 2 out of 3 times. It is as if the act of switching unlocks hidden potential, turning what appeared to be a balanced gamble into a significantly advantageous strategy. Let these numbers float gently in your mind, much like leaves carried by a slow-moving stream. Although the logic might seem to defy everyday intuition, there is a quiet beauty in the precision of probability, a reminder that sometimes the universe holds surprises for those who look beyond the obvious. The dance of intuition and probability. The Monty Hall Problem is a perfect example of how our intuition can be gently led astray by appearances. Our initial reaction is to assume that once one door is opened, the odds must be equal. Yet, as you contemplate the numbers, you realize that intuition and mathematics sometimes dance to different rhythms. This gentle dissonance invites you to explore the idea that the world is more complex and infinitely more interesting than our first impressions suggest. Imagine a delicate ballet where each movement, each step, is guided by a hidden rhythm. The initial choice, the host's reveal, and the final decision to switch or stay all are parts of a graceful performance orchestrated by the laws of probability. Even though the outcome may seem unpredictable at first, a closer look reveals an underlying order, a soothing symmetry that explains why switching is the wisest choice. Embracing uncertainty and the joy of discovery. Reflect now on how the Monty Hall Problem speaks to the larger mysteries of life. Just as in this puzzle, our decisions are often clouded by uncertainty and shaped by forces that are not immediately visible. In our daily lives, we sometimes cling to our initial choices, believing that our first instinct is always correct. But perhaps, like in the game show scenario, a change in perspective, a willingness to reconsider and to switch paths, can lead to unexpectedly positive outcomes. This gentle lesson in probability encourages you to remain open to change. It whispers that, even when the situation appears balanced or predetermined, there may be hidden opportunities waiting to be discovered if you are willing to adjust your course. Much like the soft unfolding of a flower at dawn, every decision holds the potential for renewal and transformation, provided you allow yourself the freedom to rethink and adapt. In a broader sense, the Monty Hall Problem becomes a metaphor for the act of decision-making itself. It reminds you that life is full of surprises that lie just beneath the surface of our everyday choices. By embracing the unexpected and questioning our initial assumptions, we open ourselves to a richer, more nuanced experience of the world. A meditative pause on choice and strategy as you continue to relax. Imagine yourself seated comfortably, pondering the implications of the Monty Hall Problem. Let your mind trace the arc of the scenario, from the moment of your first choice to the pivotal decision to switch. In this gentle meditation, the numbers and probabilities become more than abstract concepts. They transform into a quiet narrative of chance, strategy, and discovery. A final whisper. Before slumber, as our gentle exploration of the Monty Hall Problem draws to a close, let these reflections become a soft lullaby for your mind. The puzzle, with all its counterintuitive twists and turns, invites you to appreciate the subtle balance between what seems obvious and what is revealed through careful thought. Before you drift off to sleep, imagine the scenario one last time, a game show where the decision to switch is not just about winning a car, but about embracing the wisdom of reconsideration and the beauty of hidden possibilities. Allow this thought to settle in the recesses of your mind, much like a comforting echo in the stillness of the night. May these meditative musings on the Monty Hall Problem guide you into a deep, restorative sleep, where every decision is a gentle reminder that life, in all its complexity, is full of unexpected opportunities. Drift off with a heart open to wonder, knowing that by questioning your initial assumptions, you can unlock a world of hidden potential, a world where the courage to switch can lead to a future more brilliant than you ever imagined. Rest now, and let the quiet logic of the universe cradle you into a peaceful, dream-filled night. The Paradox of the Preface. In the preface, authors often set the stage for their work with declarations of intent and quality. They assure you, the reader, that what follows is carefully researched and thoughtfully composed. However, many also include a disclaimer. Despite their best efforts, they recognize that the book may contain errors or inaccuracies. This admission, while practical and humble, creates an inherent tension. How can one assert that every statement is true, and yet allow that some might be false? This is not merely a technicality. It is a quiet, philosophical puzzle that speaks to the human condition. Consider this. When an author writes that all the contents are true, they are striving for an ideal of perfection, a pure form of knowledge, where every detail is exact and reliable. Yet, as fallible beings, they are acutely aware that human knowledge is always provisional. This duality mirrors the way we live our lives, holding fast to our beliefs while understanding that absolute certainty is elusive. The paradox gently invites us to explore the beauty of this uncertainty, much like the soft interplay between light and shadow at dusk. Exploring the nature of truth and error, let us pause to reflect on the meaning of truth in the context of written work. Truth, as conveyed through the pages of a book, is both a goal and an aspiration. Authors endeavor to capture reality as faithfully as possible, yet they do so through the lens of human perception and language, tools that are inherently limited. When an author states that every assertion is true, they signal their commitment to accuracy and integrity. But by also acknowledging that errors may exist, they reveal an acceptance of the imperfection that is woven into the fabric of all human endeavors. This duality is comforting in its own way. It tells us that perfection is not demanded of the Creator, and that our understanding of truth is a continuous journey rather than a final destination. Like a gentle river that carves its way through the landscape, our pursuit of truth is a dynamic process, ever changing and evolving. The paradox of the preface, then, becomes a metaphor for this journey, a quiet acknowledgement that while we strive for absolute clarity, we must also embrace the possibility of error as an intrinsic part of the learning process. A window into the human experience beyond its implications for literature and epistemology, the paradox of the preface offers a profound insight into the human experience. Every one of us carries within a desire to be right, to hold beliefs that are unequivocally true. Yet, deep down, we know that life is full of uncertainties, and our perceptions are often tinted by bias and error. In a way, the preface of a book is like a mirror reflecting this inner conflict. It is a candid confession that while we may aspire to absolute truth, we are also bound by our limitations. Imagine a sculptor working on a masterpiece. With every chisel stroke, the artist strives to reveal the perfect form hidden within the stone. And yet even in the finished work, one can see the marks of the hand, a reminder that every creation carries the imprint of its maker. Similarly, when an author crafts a narrative, the text is imbued with the pursuit of truth, but it also bears the gentle scars of human imperfection. The paradox thus becomes a celebration of our dual nature, the eternal quest for certainty tempered by the grace of imperfection. The role of humility in the quest for knowledge. There is an inherent humility in the paradox of the preface. By admitting that errors may exist, authors do not undermine the credibility of their work. Instead, they open a space for dialogue and continuous improvement. This humility is a quiet strength, a recognition that knowledge is never complete, and that every assertion is subject to scrutiny and revision. It is a gentle reminder that our understanding of the world is always provisional, and that the search for truth is a communal, ever-evolving conversation. In this light, the preface becomes more than just an introduction. It is an invitation for readers to engage with the material with a critical yet open heart. It encourages us to appreciate the complexity of knowledge, to see that even in the most meticulously researched works, there is room for doubt and further exploration. This spirit of inquiry and humility is what propels scientific and intellectual progress, and it is beautifully encapsulated in the paradox that lies at the beginning of many great works. A meditative reflection on learning and growth as you lie back and let your thoughts wander in the quiet of the night. Consider how the paradox of the preface applies to your own journey of learning and self-discovery. Each piece of knowledge you acquire is a stepping stone built on the foundations of what you believe to be true, and yet always open to re-evaluation. Much like the preface of a book, your understanding is a living document, capable of growth and transformation. Think of your mind as a garden. With each new idea, you plant a seed, nurturing it with curiosity and reflection. Over time, some seeds flourish into robust trees of wisdom, while others may wither away, revealing new insights in their absence. This process of continual learning is not diminished by the possibility of error. Rather, it is enriched by it. The paradox of the preface gently teaches you that embracing uncertainty and the potential for mistake is an essential part of intellectual growth, a soft, enduring truth that leads to deeper understanding. Embracing the paradox as a source of comfort in a world that often demands certainty and absolute answers, the Paradox of the Preface offers a serene counterpoint, a reminder that it is okay to live with questions and to accept the beauty of imperfection. It encourages you to approach knowledge with both confidence and humility, knowing that every assertion, no matter how carefully made, is part of a larger, unfolding narrative of discovery. Allow yourself to be comforted by this idea as you drift towards sleep. Let the paradox be a gentle whisper in your mind, a soothing reminder that perfection is not a prerequisite for wisdom, and that the journey towards understanding is as important as the destination. In the soft interplay of truth and error, you find a balance that mirrors the natural rhythms of life, a balance that invites you to rest, reflect, and dream. A final whisper. Before slumber, as our exploration of the paradox of the preface draws to a close, take a moment to let these reflections settle into the quiet corners of your mind. Embrace the gentle contradiction that lies at the heart of human knowledge, a paradox that is both a challenge and a comfort. In acknowledging that every statement may be true yet still vulnerable to error, you are invited to see the world as a tapestry woven with threads of certainty and uncertainty alike. May this meditation on the delicate balance between belief and fallibility cradle you into a deep, restorative sleep. Drift off with the soft realization that your own journey of learning is a beautiful, ever-unfolding process. A process where each question, each potential error, enriches your understanding and lights the way to new discoveries. Rest now, and let the quiet wisdom of the paradox guide you into a realm of peaceful dreams, where the pursuit of truth and the acceptance of imperfection become a gentle lullaby, carrying you into a night of serene, boundless wonder. The Raven. Paradox. Picture a forest at dusk, where the subtle hues of nature merge into a canvas of deep blues and gentle shadows. In this tranquil scene, every raven you see is expected to be black, a conclusion drawn from countless observations and the accumulated wisdom of science. But what happens when you observe something entirely different, like a green apple? It may seem unrelated, even trivial. Yet, through a curious chain of logical reasoning, such an observation becomes evidence supporting the statement, "All ravens are black." This is the essence of the Raven Paradox. It stems from the idea of confirmation bias and the nature of logical inference. When we affirm a universal statement such as "all ravens are black," every instance we encounter that conforms to this rule strengthens our belief in its truth. But paradoxically, if we observe something that is not a raven, like a green apple, it too appears to confirm that all non-ravens are not black, thereby indirectly supporting the original claim. This counterintuitive reasoning invites you to reflect on how evidence accumulates and challenges your assumptions about the world. Unpacking the logic. The role of contrapositive reasoning. Let's explore this gentle puzzle in more detail. In logic, a statement and its contrapositive are considered equivalent. The claim, "all ravens are black," can be rephrased as, "if something is not black, then it is not a raven." Now, when you see a green apple, you observe an object that is not black. According to the contrapositive, this object should not be a raven. Thus, the green apple, by confirming it is not black, indirectly supports the idea that anything not black cannot be a raven, thereby reinforcing the original statement. While this may seem like a playful twist of logic, it opens a window into the complexities of confirmation in scientific inquiry. Our everyday reasoning tends to focus on instances that directly relate to a hypothesis. Yet, in the realm of logic, every observation that fits within the framework, even those that appear peripheral, can contribute to confirming a universal claim. The Raven Paradox quietly exposes the sometimes surprising breadth of what we consider evidence. Imagine your mind as a calm lake. Every ripple on its surface represents a piece of evidence, however small. Even a ripple caused by a green apple, which might initially seem insignificant, contributes to the overall pattern, reinforcing the belief that all ravens are black. This gentle realization invites you to consider that our perception of evidence is broader and more interconnected than it appears on the surface. A meditation on evidence and confirmation. As you settle deeper into a state of reflective calm, allow the paradox to guide you into a meditation on the nature of evidence itself. In our quest for knowledge, we often seek observations that clearly support or refute a hypothesis. Yet, the Raven Paradox reminds us that the evidence is not always straightforward. Sometimes what seems unrelated, a green apple on a kitchen table, for instance, can play a subtle role in confirming a broader truth about the world. Reflect on how you gather evidence in your own life. Perhaps you have noticed patterns or drawn conclusions based on small details that, on their own, might have seemed insignificant. The paradox gently whispers that the accumulation of tiny, seemingly unrelated observations can build a robust framework of understanding. It is a reminder that every observation, no matter how mundane, contributes to the grand mosaic of knowledge. In this meditative state, consider the idea that our search for truth is both a personal and collective journey. Each observation, each moment of clarity, weaves together to form a tapestry that represents our understanding of reality. The Raven Paradox thus becomes a metaphor for the interconnectedness of our experiences, where even the simplest of moments can have far-reaching implications. The broader implications for scientific reasoning. The beauty of the Raven Paradox lies not only in its playful challenge to our intuition, but also in its profound implications for scientific reasoning. Science at its core is an ever-evolving conversation, a dialogue between hypotheses, evidence, and interpretation. When we test a universal claim, we rely on a multitude of observations, both direct and indirect, to either support or challenge it. In the case of the ravens, every black raven you see is a direct confirmation of the hypothesis. Yet the paradox teaches you that every non-black object, by not being a raven, also serves as indirect confirmation. This nuanced understanding of evidence invites you to appreciate the subtle ways in which our universe communicates its truths. It is a reminder that sometimes the path to understanding is not a straight line, but a gentle arc that encompasses both the expected and the unexpected. Imagine the process of scientific discovery as a journey along a winding path in a quiet forest. Some turns are obvious and well-trodden, while others are hidden, revealed only through careful observation and reflection. The Raven Paradox, with its unexpected twist, is like a secret clearing in that forest, an invitation to pause, reflect, and consider the beauty of the whole landscape rather than just the visible trails. Embracing uncertainty and the limits of intuition. One of the most comforting aspects of this paradox is that it challenges the certainty of our intuition. It shows that even when we believe we understand the world through our immediate experiences, there's always room for a deeper, more nuanced perspective. The observation of a green apple might seem trivial at first, yet it holds within it a lesson about the limitations of how we define evidence and confirm beliefs. This gentle reminder is both humbling and liberating. It encourages you to remain open to the unexpected connections that weave through your experience, to accept that the quest for understanding is a continuous, evolving process. In the quiet hours of the night, as you drift into a state of serene contemplation, allow the paradox to soften your need for absolute certainty. Instead, welcome the mystery that lies in the interplay of evidence, a mystery that enriches your appreciation of the world. Consider that in life, as in science, our understanding is often built upon layers of subtle observations. Each layer, no matter how small, adds depth to our overall picture of reality. The Raven Paradox gently urges you to embrace this layered complexity, to find comfort in the idea that truth is not always a single, clear light, but a spectrum of insights that come together to form a radiant whole. A final whisper before sleep as Our exploration of the Raven Paradox draws to a gentle close. Take a moment to let these reflections settle into the quiet corners of your mind. Let the paradox be a soft, lingering reminder that the world is full of surprising connections, where even a green apple, in its humble simplicity, contributes to the grand tapestry of truth. Allow yourself to drift off with the comforting knowledge that every observation, every small piece of evidence, plays a role in shaping our understanding of the universe. In the serene interplay between what we see and what we infer, there lies a beauty that is as vast and mysterious as the cosmos itself. May these meditative musings on the Raven Paradox cradle your thoughts as you journey into a deep, restorative sleep. Let the gentle contradictions of logic and perception be like a lullaby, softly guiding you into a realm of peaceful dreams where every detail, however small, is part of a magnificent, interconnected whole. Rest now and let the quiet wonder of the world, where even a single unassuming observation can illuminate universal truths, carry you into a night of serene, boundless possibility. Parfit's teleporter problem. Picture, if you will, a futuristic device. A teleporter that can instantly disassemble your body at one location and reconstruct it at another. The process is so precise that every detail of your physical being, from the smallest cell to the intricate pattern of your neural connections, is perfectly replicated. Yet, in the act of teleportation, the original body is destroyed, leaving only the newly constructed replica in its place. At first, this scenario might seem like a marvel of technology, a gateway to a new world of possibility. But as you settle deeper into reflection, a subtle question begins to echo in your mind. Is the person who steps out of the teleporter truly you? Or is it merely a perfect copy, a duplicate that carries all your memories and characteristics but lacks the continuity of existence you once experienced? This question forms the core of Parfit's teleporter problem, a gentle yet profound meditation on what it means to be the same person over time. It invites you to explore the nature of identity and continuity, asking whether our sense of self is tied solely to the physical components of our bodies, or if it is something more elusive, a pattern of experiences, memories, and consciousness, unraveling the nature of identity. To begin understanding this paradox, imagine that your identity is like a melody, a series of notes played in sequence over time. Each note represents a moment, a thought, or an experience. When you undergo teleportation, the entire melody is recorded, transmitted, and then replayed, perfectly at the destination. But is the replayed melody the same as the original, or is it merely an echo, beautiful in its resemblance, yet fundamentally separate from the source? Some argue that if every detail is preserved, then the continuity of the melody remains intact. In this view, the teleporter is simply a new medium through which your identity flows. The you that is reconstructed is the same person because it carries the same memories, personality traits, and consciousness. Yet others point out that if the original is destroyed, there is a break in the continuity, an interruption in the flow of existence that might mean that the person who emerges is not you, in the deepest sense, but rather a perfect copy that begins a new timeline of consciousness. Imagine you are listening to a cherished song on an old record. Then, one day, the record is destroyed, but every note, every detail is perfectly transferred to a new vinyl disc. The song sounds identical, and yet you might wonder if the new record is truly the same as the one you loved, if the experience of hearing it carries the same essence, or if something has been irretrievably lost in the process. Exploring the paradox through thought. Let your mind wander further into this dilemma. Think of your own experiences, the continuity of your thoughts, emotions, and memories that you regard as the essence of who you are. Would you say that these are dependent on a particular set of physical particles, or do they exist as an abstract pattern capable of being replicated perfectly? Parfit's teleporter problem gently nudges you to consider that perhaps it is not the atoms in your body that define your identity, but the intricate, ever-evolving pattern of your consciousness. In moments of quiet introspection, You may notice that even without a teleporter, you are not the same person you were years ago. Memories fade, personalities shift, and new experiences continuously reshape your identity. If change is an intrinsic part of who we are, then perhaps the disruption caused by teleportation is not as significant as it first appears. Instead, it could be viewed as one more moment in the ongoing evolution of the self, a process that naturally accommodates change and renewal. The role of continuity and connection. Consider the idea of continuity. Some philosophers argue that what matters most is the continuity of experience, a seamless chain of memory and consciousness that connects your past to your present and into your future. In the teleporter scenario, if the continuity is preserved perfectly, if every memory, thought, and feeling is transmitted without loss, then perhaps the new you is no less authentic than the one that was destroyed. Imagine a river that flows unceasingly through a landscape. Even if a small section of the river were to be diverted, as long as the water continues to flow and the pattern remains consistent, the river is still the river you have known all your life. In this light, the teleporter might simply be a mechanism that redirects the flow of your existence without breaking the continuity that makes you who you are. Meditating on the nature of self and existence, allow these thoughts to settle gently into your consciousness. In the quiet spaces before sleep, as your mind drifts like a leaf on a calm stream, you may find that the teleporter problem becomes a metaphor for the broader nature of existence. We are, in many ways, ephemeral beings, constantly changing yet holding onto a core of continuity that defines our identity. The paradox encourages you to embrace uncertainty and to find beauty in the impermanence of the self. It invites you to consider that perhaps our deepest sense of identity lies not in the physical substrate of our bodies, but in the continuity of our experiences and the relationships we forge over time. In this view, the new you, created by a teleporter, is simply the latest chapter in a long, unbroken story. A story that, like the gentle rhythm of your heartbeat, continues regardless of the medium through which it is expressed. Reflect on your own journey. Every moment of your life is a brushstroke on the canvas of your identity, a work in progress that is ever-changing and infinitely complex. If the method of transportation changes, but the story remains, then perhaps identity is far more fluid and resilient than it appears. It is a tapestry woven from memories, experiences, and emotions, a tapestry that can, in theory, be perfectly replicated, even if the original threads are lost. A final whisper of timeless wonder as you prepare to surrender to the gentle pull of sleep. Let the questions raised by Parfit's teleporter problem resonate softly in your mind. Embrace the idea that the nature of the self is a profound mystery, a delicate interplay between physical substance and the intangible continuity of consciousness. In the vast, uncharted territory of identity, there may be no clear answers, only a series of contemplative whispers that invite you to explore and to wonder. May these meditative musings carry you into a realm of deep, restorative rest, a place where the boundaries between the old and the new, the physical and the abstract, blur into a peaceful unity. Let the gentle paradox remind you that change is an inherent part of existence and that even as you evolve, the essence of who you are remains a timeless, enduring melody. Drift off now, with your heart open to the infinite possibilities of self, knowing that in the quiet continuity of your dreams, the question of identity is not a puzzle to be solved, but a journey to be embraced, a journey as boundless and serene as the starlit sky above. The Paradox of Omniscience. Visualize an ancient, wise entity, often imagined as a being of pure understanding, who knows every fact, every detail of the universe. At first glance, such omniscience appears to be the pinnacle of wisdom, a state of being where every mystery is unraveled and every question answered. Yet as you settle deeper into contemplation, a subtle tension arises. If this being already knows everything, what possibility remains for discovery? How can there be room for new knowledge when every piece of information is already contained within its mind. In our everyday lives, we experience learning as an evolving process. We absorb details, form connections, and sometimes our understanding grows in unexpected ways. But imagine if you were already at the summit of knowledge, where every fact, every nuance, was a part of your being. Would there be a spark of curiosity left? The paradox asks us to consider whether absolute knowledge might, paradoxically, limit the capacity for further learning. The nature of absolute knowledge let us gently explore what it means to know everything. Omniscience implies that every conceivable truth is known, past, present, and future, the seen and the unseen. If a being is omniscient, its repository of knowledge is complete, leaving no gaps for the unknown. Yet, consider the experience of learning. It is often filled with the thrill of uncovering something unexpected, the excitement of a new insight that reshapes our understanding of the world. This is the very essence of discovery, the joy of encountering the unfamiliar. Imagine a vast library that contains every book ever written, every piece of wisdom ever recorded. For an ordinary seeker, each new volume offers fresh perspectives, layers of meaning, and insights that can transform one's understanding. Now envision a librarian who has read every book, whose mind contains the entirety of the library. For such a librarian, every new arrival would seem redundant. There would be no wonder, no fresh revelation. In that state, the act of learning itself might become obsolete, or at least profoundly different. This thought invites you to consider that the process of discovery may be intrinsically tied to our limitations. It is our not knowing everything that fuels our curiosity, driving us to explore and to ask questions. In a way, the journey toward knowledge is as important as the knowledge itself. It is the process of grappling with the unknown that enriches our experience and deepens our understanding. A meditation on curiosity and growth as you continue to reflect. Allow yourself to ponder the role of curiosity in your own life. Consider how, even when you become an expert in a subject, there remains a spark of wonder, a recognition that the more you know, the more you realize there is still to learn. This perpetual cycle of inquiry and discovery is what makes life dynamic and full of possibility. Now imagine a being who has reached the zenith of knowledge. If every mystery has been solved and every secret revealed, what remains for that being? Does the omniscient mind experience boredom? Or does it exist in a state of serene fulfillment, untouched by the need for further discovery? The paradox gently nudges us to explore whether the act of knowing something new is essential to the vibrancy of existence. In the soft twilight of your thoughts, consider that the beauty of learning lies in its potential for transformation. It is in the unexpected, the uncharted, and the unknown that our minds find both challenge and delight. Perhaps, then, omniscience might be seen not as an ultimate state of fulfillment, but as a state where the very possibility of growth is curtailed. Without the potential for new discoveries, even the greatest repository of knowledge might feel static, a complete tapestry with no new threads to weave into its design. The paradox as a reflection on human experience. This paradox is not merely a theoretical puzzle. It reflects a profound aspect of the human condition. Our limitations, far from being weaknesses, are what drive us to learn, to innovate, and to grow. Each gap in our knowledge is a doorway to wonder, a silent invitation to step into a realm of mystery and possibility. It is these very gaps that make life a rich tapestry of experiences, where every discovery is a cherished victory over the unknown. Think of a time when you encountered something entirely new, a piece of art, a scientific revelation, or even a simple conversation that shifted your perspective. That moment of surprise, of realizing that there was more to know, brought with it an invigorating sense of possibility. The capacity for such moments, the endless pursuit of knowledge, is a gift precisely because our minds are not all-knowing. It is the promise of something new around every corner that propels us forward, that imbues our lives with meaning and excitement. A final meditation. Before rest, as you prepare to drift off into a peaceful slumber, let these reflections on the paradox of omniscience settle into the quiet corners of your mind. Embrace the idea that the mystery of the unknown is a gift, a perpetual source of inspiration that keeps our lives vibrant and full of possibility. Consider that it is the very act of not knowing, the thrill of the chase, that makes every new piece of knowledge so profoundly valuable. Allow yourself to relax, knowing that in the tapestry of life, every thread of curiosity and every spark of inquiry adds to the beauty of your experience. The paradox gently suggests that the state of absolute knowledge, while seemingly complete, might also be a state where growth ceases. And perhaps it is our inherent incompleteness that is the secret to a life lived fully, with every new discovery, a step along an endless journey of wonder. May these meditative musings on the paradox of omniscience guide you into a deep, restorative sleep. Drift off with the comforting thought that life is most beautiful when it is full of questions, when every mystery is a doorway to a new adventure. In the quiet embrace of the night, let the gentle allure of the unknown carry you into a realm of peaceful dreams, where the endless pursuit of knowledge is a lullaby, soothing your spirit and igniting your imagination. Rest now, and allow the serene paradox of omniscience to remind you that in the vast landscape of existence, it is the potential for discovery that makes each moment infinitely precious. The self-reference paradox. Gödel's incompleteness theorem. Close your eyes for a moment and picture a grand, ancient library filled with countless books, each one a repository of human knowledge. In this vast collection, imagine that every book represents a formal system, a structured set of rules and axioms meant to capture the truths of mathematics. For centuries, scholars believed that by following a strict logical framework, every mathematical truth could be derived and proven. Yet, as if whispering from the shadows, a surprising discovery emerged. There exist statements within these systems that are true, but no matter how hard one tries, they cannot be proven using the system's own rules. This gentle, yet revolutionary, insight is what Gödel's incompleteness theorem reveals. It tells us that in any sufficiently powerful formal system, there are inherent limitations, an echo of self-reference that resists complete capture. Just as a mirror reflecting itself creates an infinite loop of images, a system that tries to account for all truths inevitably produces statements that reference their own unprovability. It is a quiet paradox, one that invites you to embrace the beauty of mystery alongside the elegance of logic. The nature of self-reference in logic. At the core of this paradox is self-reference, the ability of a statement to refer to itself. Consider a simple sentence. This statement is unprovable. If the sentence were provable within the system, then it would contradict its own claim, leading to a logical inconsistency. Conversely, if it is unprovable, then the statement is true, yet it cannot be established by the system. This delicate balance, where truth exists beyond the grasp of formal proof, is what Gödel ingeniously uncovered. Imagine the sensation of standing at the edge of a vast, starlit expanse. The stars, countless and brilliant, suggest an order in the cosmos, yet some remain hidden, their light unreachable despite the laws that govern the universe. Similarly, within any complex system, there are truths that shine brightly in their own right, even if they elude the framework designed to encapsulate all knowledge. This interplay between the seen and the unseen, the provable and the unprovable, invites us to reconsider what it means to know something in the deepest sense. Implications for mathematics and beyond. Gödel's discovery was not merely a technical detail in the realm of mathematics. It was a profound shift in how we understand the nature of knowledge itself. For centuries, the dream of a complete, self-contained system of mathematics seemed within reach, a perfect edifice built on unquestionable truths. Yet, Gödel's incompleteness theorem gently shatters that dream, reminding us that every system, no matter how meticulously constructed, has its boundaries. This revelation can be both humbling and liberating. It tells us that the universe of mathematical truth is not a closed box with a finite set of answers. Instead, it is an ever-expanding landscape where new mysteries continually arise. Like the soft murmur of a distant melody, this insight encourages a mindset of perpetual curiosity. Even if we cannot prove every truth within our current systems, the journey of exploration itself becomes a source of wonder and inspiration. Imagine your own life as a series of unfolding mysteries. Each experience, each memory, is a fragment of a larger, intricate story, one that might never be fully captured by words or logic. The paradox of self-reference, then, becomes a gentle reminder that there is beauty in not having all the answers, in cherishing the unknown as much as the known. It is an invitation to embrace the complexity of existence and to find peace in the understanding that some truths are meant to remain just beyond our reach. A meditative reflection on limits and possibility. As you lie in the soft glow of the night, let the ideas of Gödel's incompleteness theorem and the self-reference paradox blend into your thoughts like a soothing lullaby. They gently whisper that every formal system has its limits, just as every human being has boundaries in understanding. And yet, these limits are not failures. They are the fertile ground from which new insights and creative ideas can emerge. Consider the paradox as a meditation on possibility. Just as a forest thrives in the interplay between light and shadow, our intellectual and personal growth flourishes in the space between certainty and doubt. The awareness that not every truth can be captured by our current knowledge does not diminish the value of what we know. Instead, it enriches our appreciation for the mysteries that remain. It is a call to remain ever curious, to continuously seek out new horizons, even if some paths remain forever unexplored. A final whisper of infinite mystery. Before you drift into a peaceful slumber, let these meditative reflections on the self-reference paradox and Gödel's incompleteness theorem settle softly in your heart. Embrace the idea that the quest for knowledge is a never-ending journey, one in which every answer only deepens the mystery. In this ever-unfolding tapestry of truth, the unprovable becomes a symbol of the infinite potential for discovery, a reminder that the beauty of the universe lies as much in its questions as in its answers. Allow the gentle tension between what can be proven and what remains forever mysterious to lull you into a state of deep, restorative peace. Let it be a quiet comfort, whispering that life, much like mathematics, is a dynamic interplay of certainty and possibility. In the stillness of the night, as you surrender to the embrace of sleep, know that the limits of our knowledge are not barriers, but invitations, each one urging you to continue exploring, to keep wondering, and to find solace in the gentle mystery of being. May these reflections guide you into a tranquil realm of dreams, where the boundaries of logic dissolve into a soft, unending landscape of wonder. Rest now, and let the timeless dance between proof and mystery carry you into a peaceful, dream-filled night where every unprovable truth is a star in the infinite cosmos of your mind. The Paradox of Hedonism. In our everyday lives, happiness is often portrayed as the ultimate goal, a shimmering state of contentment that promises fulfillment and joy. We are told that if we strive for it with all our heart, it will be ours. And yet, when we embark on this singular quest, we sometimes find that happiness slips through our fingers like grains of sand. It is as if the more tightly we try to hold on to it, the more it escapes. Imagine, for a moment, that happiness is like a delicate butterfly. If you chase it too desperately, it flutters away, remaining just out of reach. However, if you sit quietly and allow it to alight on your shoulder naturally, you experience its gentle presence. This metaphor captures the essence of the paradox of hedonism. Happiness is not something that can be forced into existence through direct pursuit, but rather, it often emerges when we relinquish the struggle and allow life to unfold on its own terms. The allure of direct pursuit. Consider how our culture often celebrates the pursuit of pleasure, whether it is through material wealth, social accolades, or sensory indulgence. Advertisements, self-help books, and even popular music frequently encourage us to go after happiness as if it were a destination marked on a map. We create elaborate plans, set lofty goals, and devote countless hours to activities we believe will bring us joy. Yet with each deliberate attempt to manufacture happiness, we may inadvertently erect barriers between ourselves and the very state we desire. The effort and anxiety involved in chasing after a specific outcome can shift our focus from the richness of the present moment to an uncertain future. In this way, the direct pursuit of happiness can transform what should be a natural, organic experience into a stressful, counterproductive endeavor. The psychology behind the paradox. Psychologically, the paradox unfolds in the interplay between desire, expectation, and experience. When we fixate on achieving happiness as an end in itself, we create a mental pressure that can lead to disappointment. The constant striving may cause us to overlook the simple pleasures of everyday life, the quiet moments of connection, the beauty of a sunset, the warmth of a shared smile. Our expectations become so high that even ordinary, genuine moments of contentment fall short of the idealized image of happiness we have constructed. In the relentless quest for that elusive state, we might find ourselves trapped in a cycle of anticipation and letdown, where each new attempt to secure happiness only reinforces the feeling that it remains just beyond our grasp. Imagine a painter who is obsessed with creating the perfect masterpiece. With every brushstroke, they are so focused on the final vision that they lose sight of the joy found in the act of painting itself. Instead of enjoying the creative process, they are consumed by anxiety and self-criticism. This is similar to the way our own pursuit of happiness can become an all-consuming effort that overshadows the simple, natural moments of joy in our lives. Embracing a different approach. Letting go Sue. What is the alternative to chasing happiness directly? Many philosophical and psychological traditions suggest that instead of pursuing happiness as a goal, we should cultivate a mindset of acceptance and presence. In other words, rather than trying to force a state of joy, we might find that happiness emerges more naturally when we focus on living fully in the moment. Consider the practice of mindfulness, a gentle art of being present. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without judgment, allowing us to experience life as it is rather than as we wish it to be. In this state, happiness is not a distant prize to be won. It becomes a byproduct of fully engaging with the present moment. Imagine sitting by a quiet stream, watching the water flow steadily over smooth stones. There is a serene beauty in the flow itself, a beauty that arises not from striving for perfection, but from simply being. When you let go of the frantic pursuit of happiness, you create space for genuine contentment to arise. This is the heart of the paradox. By releasing the need to capture happiness, you may actually become more receptive to its presence. The role of acceptance and gratitude. Another key to resolving the paradox of hedonism lies in the practices of acceptance and gratitude. When we accept life as it is, with all its imperfections and uncertainties, we open ourselves up to a more authentic form of joy. Gratitude, on the other hand, shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have, nurturing a sense of abundance that does not depend on constant striving, a meditative pause on living fully. As you lie in the stillness of the night, allow yourself to contemplate that happiness might not be a goal to be achieved, but a state to be experienced. Reflect on the idea that by ceasing the relentless chase, you might find that happiness quietly weaves itself into the fabric of your daily life. Each moment, whether filled with joy, sorrow, or simple neutrality, contributes to the rich tapestry of your existence. The paradox of hedonism gently reminds us that the direct pursuit of happiness can sometimes lead to an endless cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. Instead, by embracing the flow of life, with all its ups and downs, you create a space where true happiness can emerge naturally, a kind of quiet contentment that does not demand constant validation. Think of your life as a journey, rather than a destination. Every step along the path holds its own value, whether or not it seems spectacular in the moment. When you allow yourself to be fully present, you may begin to notice that happiness is not a fleeting emotion to be grasped in the rush of achievement, but a gentle, enduring state of being that grows from within. A final whisper of acceptance as our meditation on the paradox of hedonism draws to a close. Take a moment to let these reflections settle deeply within you. Embrace the notion that the pursuit of happiness, when approached as a singular, all-consuming goal, can often be self-defeating. Instead, cultivate a life of presence, acceptance, and gratitude, where every moment is valued for its own quiet beauty. Allow yourself to drift off into a peaceful sleep with the comforting thought that happiness is not something to be chased, but something that naturally unfolds when you live authentically and appreciate the simple, irreplaceable moments of each day. In the soft embrace of the night, let go of the pressure to attain a perfect state of joy. Trust that by releasing your grip on the pursuit, you open your heart to the subtle, ever-present flow of contentment that lies within and around you. May these meditative musings on the paradox of hedonism guide you into a deep, restorative sleep, asure, sleep filled with dreams that reflect the serene truth that happiness is found not in the frantic chase, but in the gentle acceptance of life's unfolding journey. Drift off now, with your mind at ease and your spirit light, knowing that every moment, whether filled with triumph or simplicity, is a step along the beautiful, ever-changing path of existence.